Okay. um, Thanks for the tier 1 sub, the Flexorist. Really appreciate that. Jordan, thanks for the $2. Damn, let's get started. Okay. All right. A late night stream. Okay. I was busy doing errands today, making some calls, doing some emails. Okay. Okay. Ooh, okay. Do you like my new chop? My new block? I think it's all right. Fucking the guy who was cutting my this hairdresser I go to are just like the nicest, most joyful people. I was getting like the guy who was cutting my hair was just obsessed with politics. He like watches Caspian Report and he was really obsessed with economics and stuff like that. So he was just talking for ages, like a whole hour, a whole hour shearing my dome and just talking about. That was really interesting. The fuck was that? Okay, should have kept the curls. They come back. Caspian Report is the goat. Yeah, he's good. I like him. Good hair box. Thanks.
Loner
You have to
box.
change your views to avoid
smarmy
conflict.
Cuck bastard.
Nah, I don't. I think he was a bit like me. He was just one of those guys who's like kind of just interested in it and likes to learn about it from a relatively neutral stance. He's not like an ideologue, and he was talking about how he has to like cut the hair of racist people quite a lot. Like, yeah, that's very Scottish. And he gets freaked out by it. That was fun. Did you have a dialogue with him? Yeah. He didn't really disagree with anything I was saying, but I was spitting. I wasn't looking for a debate in the middle of the hairdresser though. I don't want to put him in charge. Give me the Hitler Youth cut. Yeah, well. What was his ethnicity? He was Scottish. He was a Scot. He was a local, pretty sure. Sounded like a local. Okay. Sorry, I need to get rid of it. I don't know. Fucking kind of them up all the time. Hmm. Uh, hmm. Sorry. Okay. All right. Okay, okay. Thanks for the $5, trap leader. I'm getting a stiffy like I got a boner box with the fresh cut sheets. Don't talk. Fuck me. Okay, it's fine. It's a good thing I'm just completely impervious to sexual harassment, but I don't think you should like you probably as a general rule shouldn't talk to streamers like strangers like that, you know? It's probably not like it didn't really affect me all that much. It sometimes makes me feel weird, but you know, I let it roll off me like a sincere debate war criminal, but yeah. I don't know. I don't want to. I could cover news on the hospital
Loner
stuff, but it's
box.
just
You
like
smarmy
I don't know what to say
Cuck
about
bastard.
it. Just people, everyone's concluding. I don't know. Like Norman Finkelstein is. I know I'm supposed to read his one of his best books or whatever, and just see if it's actually like as good as people make it out to be, or if he actually has anything of value to offer. but he is literally just going full brain damage on Twitter, just demanding like post-Holocaust levels of proof and investigation when they're in the middle of a military operation. I just don't get it. How strange the times. Wait, let me find the right. Yeah, like how we need more time. The official said that soldiers had found weapons and evidence of a militant headquarters, but declined to provide further details and said that proof would not be provided until after the raid had ended. It takes time to plant evidence. Bro, again, what I say, like you start with your conclusion and then just work backwards. It's so cringe. It's so fucking, I don't know, but maybe he used to be good, or maybe he's like one of those guys who's really academically honest, but also is just absolutely fucking mental as soon as they don't have to get peer reviewed or whatever. I don't know. But so far, I'm just not impressed. I just can't find like what the fuck is this? An IDF source that prefers anonymity has provided the New York Times with a very strange image coming out of the IDF and it's just like the fuck. These are the Hamas tunnelers. He's mental. He's absolutely mental. He just thinks it's all fake. Did you see the vid of those Hitler youth against Destiny? No. Was he debating Hitler youth? That's wacky. Or were they actually Hitler youth? I don't know what that means. But, you know, like I don't want to go in there with a poisoned well, but he's doing all the things to poison the well. And I don't need to do anything. Okay, whatever. Hmm. Hmm. He's always been sus. Okay. What is Kanye saying? What was Kanye saying about BB?
I've got the perfect answer for the ADL. They are going to have to listen up. What we did is we brought Netanyahu with us.
I mean, I'm in the twilight zone right now.
Netanyahu, what do you have to say? What do you have to say to Alex Jones right now, Nick Fuentes and Ye?
Oh, I remember this.
It was bad. It was bad for Trump to meet with Nick and Ye. Okay. I had no idea your voice is going to sound like that, Netanyahu.
Even Alex Jones can't handle it. What the fuck?
So you don't like Benjamin Netanyahu?
I just heard about this guy 2 weeks ago, so it's like the tweet. He's like a super killer. I could die for saying this. So in case this the
I
last
could die
time you
for
ever hear
saying
from me.
this. Okay, that was cringe. What was this? Oh yeah, I remember this. I mean, it's kind of true. You do have to often stick your butt out like that. I finally understood what people mean when they say push down with your heels. I was doing it the other day and oh, that's what people mean. You're not picking it up, you're pushing down with your heels. You're pushing the ground down with your heels. I was like, oh yeah, that's very clever, yeah. Push the earth down, Giga. Yeah, it's much harder. It's much harder to push the earth down than it is to pick something up. I'll tell you that. What are your numbers? I think my best squat, and I've been a bit hesitant to try to go too hard on squats, was like 110 kilograms. For deadlift, probably the same. Maybe 120. I did a 1 rep max 120. Maybe. I can't remember. Bench, my highest was like 86 or 84. Can't remember. built like a box. How tall are you? 6'2". Real, like a real 6'2", not like an online 6'2". Why is the bench so much better than the others? Because I have very bad trap muscles. They're just fucked. They've been like trapped nerve in my left side. That's why I'm always like doing that, like cracking my neck and shit. I didn't know that. Is that really like, can people who bench 80 do more than 120 on deadlift? Hassan vouched for you against his chat again today. Listen, I tell you, man, me and Hassan, we're like that, you know? Me and him, we stand tall against the tide of disinformation. I don't know. I think we might still talk. We might. We might. You'd expect more on deadlift. I think I can't remember. I think my best deadlift was 120. Part of my brain is saying 130, but I think that's pretty unlikely. Be sure to mention to Destiny how bad you mog his lifts. That's mean. I don't want to do that. Okay. The thing is, if I talk to Hassan, I'd probably rather talk about Ukraine because there's more substantial disagreement on Ukraine. If we talk about Palestine, it's going to be me getting backed into this corner of like, oh, well, you know, technically what they're doing is probably some level of war crime, but let's not call it a genocide. That's just not the conversation anyone wants to hear. Like, it's just like, I'm just on fucking insane mode. Do a viewing party of Ukraine on fire. But I don't know. The problem is that people have all kinds of insane takes on Israel-Palestine, right? Like even Finkelstein does. But at the end of the day, Finkelstein wants a two-state solution. You're right. As far as I last remember, even maybe he's changed in the last 10 years, but 5, 10 years ago, he was still saying mad shit, but he wanted a two-state solution. He wants the settlers out of the West Bank and he wants a two-state solution. I'm like, well, I want that too. We just disagree on how Nazi Israel is, how Nazi adjacent Israel is. I was like, Did you see Dylan made a whole video calling out Destiny on his bad take about the UN vote and Israeli settlements? Thanks for the $4.99. No, I didn't. No. Why don't they just debate? I don't want to watch that shit. I want to watch them debate. Fuck. I don't want to watch this hoity-toity back and forth. Well, I disagree with what you have to say, but I will fight to the death for you to make YouTube videos about it. Let me see. Let me get this prepped up. I don't think we're going to go straight into
join me now.
Piers Morgan and Owen Jones. The thing about Piers Morgan is he's definitely been very content conscious of this, which I appreciate. You know, he's farming the content on Israel Palestine, but he's also not very intelligent. And I feel like if he just did a little bit more research, he could have much better arguments with the people he's having. It's funny that he's like in that position though, because he's definitely like not happy with Israel at all, but he's also not very happy with all the fucking rhetoric of the pro-Palestinian people. So, isn't he also an Arsenal fan? Yeah, the Gooners. He's a Gooner.
You smarmy cuck bastard.
He's annoying, but he's a dipshit. But he's doing good he's following the content. You know, that's what it's all about. You don't need to be a good person to bring the content. Play the Austrian painter clip of Hassan. I don't know what you're talking about. What's that? What's the Austrian painter clip? Oh, the Hitler. What Hitler wasn't? Oh, we've seen that clip a million times, bro. What I'm really looking forward to is the Willie Mack is probably going to do a post-debate analysis video, right? That'll be real. Oh God, Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro have been smashing each other. Not in a good, like, look at this. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. Christ is king. George Galloway, amen. George Galloway. Is this Fuentes, Autumn Groiper? Okay. Christ is king. Bro, who does she think she is? Is this like Samuel L. Jackson? Is she about to fucking bust a cap in like 3 people's asses? I don't know. Fuck. And Candace, if you feel that making money from the Daily Wire somehow comes between you and God, by all means quit. You have been acting unprofessional and emotionally unhinged for weeks now, and we have all had to sit back and allow it, and have all tried to exercise exceeding understanding for your raw emotion. We've been praying for you. That's basically what she's saying. But you cross a certain line when you come for scripture and read yourself into it. I will not tolerate it. Bro. Do you think they're gonna... Oh, wait, what's that? Oh yeah, that's mine. For years. Yeah, well, do you think it could be like a Daily Wire ruse that they're just pumping up for? Because I'll bet you, if the Daily Wire if Daily Wire members had a disagreement, they probably could, like, I feel like they would just agree to make some hype out of it on Twitter before doing the debate because it would get more views. I feel like they are media savvy enough that they would do that. Huh. Would be smart as fuck. Yeah, like they are very good at that. They're very good at the whole. They've got like their whole Avengers universe with all their different fucking talking heads, and they appear in each other's shit. Yeah, the Daily Wire. Imagine we got a left-wing Daily Wire. Ooh, we'd be unstoppable. We'd win every election.
Israeli troops.
Do I want to watch the news segments on the hospital raid? Do I? Sky News goes inside Gaza? Yes, please. Let's watch some news. No, why don't you want to watch the news? The fuck's wrong? What are you doing here? What's probably... does anyone know what a good news item is on this one? Probably Channel 4. It's 5 minutes. Oh my god, that's just like a bunch of babies crying. Oh my god. Well, I guess we have to face reality, don't we? God.
It's always hard to hear a baby cry. In Al Shifa, there were more than 30 premature newborns clustered together. Many now orphans. All of them pulled from their incubators after fuel to keep them going ran out. These are some of the last images we have from the hospital. Amidst smoke and dust, patients being evacuated after what doctors describe as an Israeli strike. Desperate attempts to keep badly injured children alive. Soldiers moved into the building late last night. Since then, it's been difficult to reach anyone there.
The Israeli forces are now within the hospital building. They have been moving between the buildings, where the troops can be seen within the hospital areas. So So it's getting more and more close to our building. We don't know what they want exactly.
Israeli troops breached here a few hours ago, and we have cleared the area.
This evening, the military
Yes, IDF propaganda video. I love them. Guys, look, it's real. There's a tunnel and there's a it must, you know what? Like, what if it's all real? What if every single video they've given us is all real? And, and they're just like and they're just so like wired because no one believes them. Oh shit.
released a video from the hospital premises showing weapons they said were found inside.
A live grenade, ammunition, fighting vest with insignia, boots, and of course uniforms, and last but not least, standard AK-47.
Though so far, they presented no evidence of the massive underground Hamas headquarters Israel alleges lies beneath the hospital.
Oh no. Bro, if there's no, oh god, if they don't find it, I guess it's maybe hidden, but like, if we don't get tunnels out of this has been so much, it'll be fucked, man. They'll become a pariah state. That'll be it. Joe Biden will walk. Fuck. It's just as well I haven't spent the last month being like, they're a base in front of it, Hamas are hiding in front behind the hospital. Like, yeah. Because a lot of people have been people have been saying this for years, haven't they? That Hamas have their main headquarters under this hospital. People have been saying this for a long time, but maybe they haven't secured that part yet, or who knows? We gotta wait before we conclude, but I imagine right now, if you were partisan against the IDF, you would be, I wonder if it's worth logging people who are now saying this is all the evidence, and then like, that's it, definitive proof, there's nothing else, because I imagine it might be like a day or two from now, we'll see more, but unless we like, but it'd be interesting to see people who have already decided that this is it, you know? But I guess right now it's not looking good. It's looking like an IDF-L, a LIDF.
Palestinians claim the assault on Al-Shifa shows Israel's unrestrained brutality. Meeting soldiers near the border with Gaza, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu struck a triumphal note.
We were told that we won't enter Shifa. We entered, and in the spirit we say a simple thing. There is no place in Gaza that we will not reach. There is no hiding, no shelter, no refuge for the murderers of Hamas.
See, like, how bad is it going to look if they can't prove the headquarters and he's just bragged about taking a hospital? You never told us. They said we'd never take over this hospital, but god damn it. and there's just sick people in there like, what the fuck? Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. They told us we'd never secure this playground. But look at us now. Look at my soldiers. Look at my brave men on the hippity hop. Oh, well, it feels good to not be a concluder, though, eh? Just saying, what if? What if it was just a regular old hospital? And all those munitions were just people trying to defend their fucking sick relatives. Shit.
Israel is now in firm control of much of northern Gaza, or what's left of it. This, the parliament reduced to rubble. Could there now be a change in tactics? We asked.
Wait, is this why Sky News, is this why Sky News are in Gaza now? Are they going to invite a bunch of journalists in to see what they found in the hospital?
One former senior commander.
The next phase is surgical. I mean, this is special forces, this direct fire. We actually had to break in with this full full power with our tanks, with our infantry brigades, with our engineering. It's an engineering campaign. But right now that we see it, of course, surgical, this would be I think this would be the name of the game.
But the cries of pain show no sign of ending. Israel's deadly bombardment continues right across the Gaza Strip. Children rush to hospital following an airstrike in Deir al-Balah. Here, too, share a single stretcher. I found 3 of my children.
Are Sky News and the UK ultra right wing? No, they're not. They're not like Australian Sky News. No, the UK Sky News is a bit more moderated because of Ofcom, and I think just because of the way the ownership is a bit different. So Murdoch doesn't really have the same fucking level of discretion that he does in Australia.
Children, says Ahmed. The other 3 are missing. A gentle touch amidst so much suffering.
This is the world
Frozen
quibbles
in
once.
shock.
Oh God, that's
Who
mean.
can tell
Sorry.
Gaza's children when all this will end?
Well, the Israeli military are tonight saying their forces remain inside the Al-Shifa complex and they're continuing to conduct searches there. We've not been able to speak to any of the doctors that we've been in touch with in recent days. As you saw in that report, the Israeli army is saying that it found a number of weapons during searches of the hospital complex. But really, they'd built up this huge narrative about this major strategic secretive underground Hamas headquarters beneath the Al-Shifa hospital, and really all we've been presented with so far is video of a number of Kalashnikovs and some body armor. Perhaps more video evidence will be released in the coming days. There had been one theory that after securing large parts of northern Gaza, perhaps we might see the Israeli military adopt a new tactic and a more restrained approach, particularly given the intense and growing diplomatic pressure on Israel over rising civilian casualties in Gaza. Instead, though, tonight, we've seen leaflets dropped in the southern city of Khan Yunis warning residents of eastern neighborhoods that they need to evacuate. Now, Khan Yunis is where many people in Gaza had already fled to. 3/4 of the population of Gaza have already had to leave their homes.
So they're going for eastern Gaza and telling people to go west, like towards the beach. Oh.
And many people, I think, there will be asking, where on earth do we go next?
I feel like it's going to get a bit crowded down there, man. You know? Shit. Oh. What's friend of the show saying? Just a little quick check-in.
What do you mean? I would love to, except it's shit. You want to know why? Because the country that you're defending is bombing it. The fuck do you mean? Hey, why don't you go to the open-air prison that we're bombing currently?
It didn't take long to get an open-air prison out of him. Okay. He's always shouting at someone. I don't. What other news do we have? Let's see. So the only footage we've been given from the IDF now is munitions, right? Is that all they've given? Is that all they've told us? Have they secured the whole place? Because the hospital, it's not a single hospital, right? It's a complex. It's like a whole big fucking complex. So have they found what they said they were looking for with the fucking bunker and shit? No, the operation's still going on, right? That's why he's saying surgical, because the operation's still happening. Yeah. Bro, what if Hamas have just lined the entire area with explosives and it's just gonna go boof like Cersei Lannister? That would be crazy. I love conclude. Conclude. Bro. You can save time by assuming the IDF is always lying, even their name is a lie. Okay. They said 4 Hamas soldiers were killed. Okay. Do you think he's concluded enough? Bro. Surgical was the wrong word to use after capturing a hospital. Yeah, I don't know. They're just,
How many people did he murder?
Hey, Serial is family friendly. Thanks for the 5 subs. Really appreciate that. Hassan has compared himself to Rush Limbaugh. Has he? Okay. Suppose it's not. Thoughts on 80s movies? That's like any decade, right? Some of them are good, some of them are not. What's the DW segment from 1 hour ago?
Israeli troops have raided Gaza's biggest hospital, the Al Shifa Hospital, the site of a long standoff. The Israel Defense Forces say that they were targeting Hamas militants and trying to avoid civilian casualties. But aid organizations are warning the fighting will worsen the already dire situation for patients and staff.
Footage from the Gaza Ministry of Health appears to show the frantic evacuation of patients after Israel launched its raid. The Israeli Defense Forces said explosive devices were discovered and suspected terrorists killed in the action. Israel says Hamas is directing, quote, terrorist activities from a command centre beneath the hospital. The UN estimates there are at least 2,300 people still in the hospital, including patients, staff and displaced Palestinians.
In recent weeks, the IDF has publicly warned time and again that Hamas's continued military use of Shifa Hospital jeopardizes its protected status under the international law.
But the Palestinian Authority said Israel's raid was in flagrant violation of international law.
Both sides.
It never happened in anywhere in history that hospitals are targets. What is happening in Gaza is a very obvious, very clear.
Is there any historical precedent for a military force that just keeps all their shit in like non-marked military buildings? That because so far it's just lots of weapons they seem to have found, right? And people are like, so where's the command center? Can't see a command center there. Shit. The Stern Gang and Ergon, did they use civilian stuff? I thought they went on the offensive, though. They went through villages. Does the Taliban use hospitals? I don't know. There's a Twitter thread that compiled all the pictures, apparently. Let's see. This is apparently what they found. Weapons, okay. Weapons, stack of CDs, interesting. Radio, laptop. Guns. This room looks pretty... I saw this picture. People were zooming in on the box of dates. And I'm like, I feel like this picture is not intended... I feel like the centerpiece of this picture is not the box of dates. It's the grenades and the magazines, right? But... God knows. That's a lot of weapons. Ooh. More weapons. Laptop. With the face of a fucking captured or rescued soldier. Okay. But the people are, well, where's the command center? Yeah, God. A laptop with a sand stream. Stop. Stop. Mixed Lydian, thanks for the 2 New Zealand. Do you have a Nufti Plonkachonk, aka a cat? Nope. I do not. Were you saying that we super sus if Israeli public relations is incredibly stupid? I don't think they claimed to have found tunnels or underneath stuff yet, or they haven't claimed the operation's done, have they? Because it's gonna look really dumb if the last few days was just them fighting over a hospital that had like some guns in it. Let's see. And Benjamin Netanyahu, they told us we'd never secure this hospital. No way. That's not real. That can't be real. Cover for fighters, main command center. This is from today, a few hours ago. No, they still haven't finished the operation, it seems. I don't think that, because it's a whole complex. Size of a US football field, so it's a pretty big area. Okay. Yeah, it'll be a couple of, it'll be a day or two.
Box, you smarmy.
I'll give it a day or two. Because right now, I guess it's just going to be a drip feed of knowledge. What's this? Avi, the IDF has re-uploaded the video, which is now 6:59 in duration, and the initial video was 7:19 in duration. Anyone want to do me a favor and figure out what the cut? And yes, I do appreciate the irony of them saying no cuts, and then they deleted and re-uploaded a cut version. Okay, what's this? Initial video here.
Everyone, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan from the IDF here. I am in the Shifa Hospital, as you can see from the sign behind me, and as you can clearly see from the building. We are going to do a one-shot video. One shot, no editing, of all of the evidence that we have found.
It's just so, like, we're not going to do any cuts. We're not going to, don't look out for the frame rate.
Just now in this building of the Shifa.
So wired.
So we're inside the MRI center of the Shifa hospital. Israeli troops breached here a few hours ago, and we have cleared the area, make sure that it's safe. And a few of the most interesting things that we have found totally confirm, without any doubt, that Hamas systematically uses hospitals in their military operations in violation of international law. And what we have found, I think, is only the tip of the iceberg. Let me show you a few examples. Security cameras have been obstructed. All of the security cameras are covered, and this isn't the only one. You'll see the rest of them here. Follow me as we go in, and we will see the MRI center and see the weapons that Hamas has hidden inside.
This feels so fake. The thing is, most armies, when they do war, they don't really do any of this shit, right? The problem is that there are some people, and again, I'm agnostic, okay? Because I don't fucking know. Like, I know that the IDF have lied about shit in the past, okay? It's just that there are some people that, like, no amount of evidence will convince them. Nothing. And it must be quite, I'm just trying to imagine, like, if it's real, how frustrating it must be for these people, and that's probably why they're so like, here you can see, I promise we didn't do this ourselves.
This is where patients come in order to get MRI services. We'll proceed into a more secluded area. And the lighting here is out, so we're using flashlights. We're now, as you can see, in an MRI room. I don't know when this was used the last time. But it is definitely an MRI machine. And if you follow me behind the MRI machine, I'll show you what our troops exposed just minutes ago.
Ooh.
In military terms, this is a grab bag. Grab and go of a Hamas combatant. And if you zoom in and we get some light over here, what you will be able to see is military equipment. There is an AK-47, there are cartridges, ammo, there are grenades in here, of course uniform, and all of this was hidden very conveniently, secretly behind the MRI machine. On the other side, we found a backpack with what appears to be very important intelligence, including a laptop, and we'll show you that momentarily. Let's go see the next room.
People are saying this is staged. I don't know. I feel like you guys, that in Holocaust denial, you know what some of the people say is they say that because they discovered they didn't initially have a camera crew when they discovered the camps. So once they discovered the camps, I think they made sure to get international people over with cameras to show them what they saw. And some people say there are Holocaust deniers who will say that what they were doing was like they staged what they saw to get because the new cameras were coming. So they see this camp and then they take some time to set everything up to look really bad. It's like, bro, you sound like that. I don't know why. I need to know when people say it's definitely staged, okay? When you say this, like, it's a definitely staged, it's like, you need to tell me what standard of evidence you actually need. Because there are just people who, first of all, there are people who guzzle everything they see on the IDF fucking page. And then there are also people who think it's all wrong. Everything, automatically. I'm like, ugh.
So we're still in the MRI center. The backpack was found in here, and it was also hidden behind the MRI machine. As you can see, the rest of the equipment here is proper hospital equipment.
Yeah, I feel like if it was staged, they'd probably add more shit, right? Than just a few, like bags of AKs, right? I don't know. But, again, it's just like, yeah.
Right, bandages and medical gear. It seems as if there's no real shortage because there's a lot of equipment here, but we'll leave that for another discussion. Let's go see weapons and other prohibited items. As we walk through the main corridor here,
what I think is really funny is if it's gonna take them like more than a couple of days to find this command center, if they find it and they show it, people will say they built it, right? I like people like Norman Finkelstein, like they would just say that they built it. They built a command center in a week to show people.
Troops did a preliminary search of the area. We tried to uncover the cameras, but all of the cameras have been obstructed. You can see there's black tape covering it. And when our troops opened this closet here, which is in the main part of the clinic, this is what they found. These weapons have absolutely no business being inside a hospital. The only reason they're here is because Hamas put them here, because they use this place, like many other hospitals and ambulances and sensitive facilities inside the Gaza Strip, for their illicit military purposes. So there's Kalashnikov rifles here, even ammunition. And let's go see.
Wouldn't the metal in the guns get sucked in by the MRI magnets? I think, yeah, depends on when the MRI was used, no? YOLO Swag, thanks for the $9.99. The Jews who run the media need to give these guys a hand. Okay. Joshua Asokanthan. I don't know if I said that properly. It's the 6 Canadian 99. Would the metal in the guns get sucked? Oh yeah, I just mentioned that. Sorry, but thanks for the dono. Okay.
The next part of the of what we have here, another MRI machine. Another MRI machine where behind it we also found contraband similar to what you saw in the other areas. And let's go see the last thing, which is more related to intelligence, which I think we will be able to extract quite a lot of interesting intelligence from.
Ooh.
If you can see, follow me, up here on top of a spare part of the MRI department, we found another grab bag. It's empty because we emptied it and cleared it so that we could use and see it. So this is where we found it, and here are the contents of the bag. The contents of the bag are full military kit for one Hamas terrorist. A live grenade, ammunition, fighting vest with insignia, boots, and of course uniforms, and last but not least, standard AK-47. Inside the hospital, hidden in a secluded area, take a look at this door here. Blast-proof door, which is part of the clinic and part of the infrastructure of the hospital. Everything else looks like a hospital, only this part doesn't. Last part. Now we will see something that our Intel researchers are looking into. Hold on, before we go on, let's have a look at what we found inside the very same cabinet that houses medical equipment. You can see all kinds of standard military medical stuff. We found another go-to bag, this bag here. And again, we opened it up in order to make sure that it's safe to touch and show. So please don't give me any of that. You opened it up and you placed it there. This is the bag that we found. And this is the stuff.
These people are reading the Twitter comments. That's what they're doing. They're reading the Twitter comments. They're reading the replies. Don't give me any of that, you fucking Twitter debate pedophiles.
That was in it. Now, there's insignia, military insignia, a knife. For those of you who read Arabic, you'll be able to understand what it says here. But it's Hamas, the military wing, Kataib al-Qassam, of course a vest with equipment, and as always an AK-47, standard gear, grab and go, which they thought would be a good place to store inside a hospital.
Listen here, Hassan Piker. Don't give me this bullshit. Hamas Piker. Oh God. I can't believe the IDF are between missions reading fucking the YouTube comment section and seeing that everyone thinks they're lying. He's getting one guide.
And the last item, which I'm sure will be very interesting to analyze, is a laptop. We found it in the MRI room. This is how the laptop looks. I don't know who it belonged to, but now it is being analyzed by our Intel people. Tactical radio communications, which we will analyze. Lots of disks, which will be analyzed. And a computer, which at first glance already provides a lot of incriminating evidence. This is Israeli private Megidish, who was taken hostage by Hamas. She is home with her family because we were able to rescue her. But this picture was found on this computer, in addition to other interesting documents that will be processed, and we will use them in order to continue our fight.
Hey. They cut the soldier telling him not to go to the back room, I think. On the original, he argued a bit with the masked IDF guy. Okay. This just feels so fake. Yeah, well. That's funny because the other about the other 50% of the world think it feels real. 100%. I don't know. Looks about right. They're gonna have to bring fucking journalists in to verify what they're seeing. Don't give me any of this. No tunnels. Not yet, it seems. Seems like the operation is still ongoing. So don't give me any of this, you piece of shit. Kill yourself. Oh, shit. Hmm. Worst episode of Cribs ever. Bro, that's the best episode of Cribs. I love IDF propaganda, okay? It's fucking brilliant. I also just want to say, shut the fuck up, Corantos.
Remember the Holodomor?
Hey, Poggers Champion, thanks for the sub. Really appreciate that. Bro, people gave me an obscene amount of Prime subs yesterday. They were just coming in like fucking firebombs. It was raining down on me. I distrust the IDF, but it seems legit. I don't know. Just, again, like I'm waiting and seeing. That's my job. My job is to wait and see and to
Remember
get
the
paid to
Holodomor?
tell you guys I don't know shit. And no one else does either. I need to find it. There was this debate between Finkelstein and Benny Morris, and it was about Operation Cast Lead.
Remember the Holodomor?
Thanks for the sub, Pinhead. And Finkelstein was talking about this
Smarmy
flour mill that got hit. I was like, what happened to the flour mill?
Your channel. Sane voices with different perspectives
Remember the
are worth
Holodomor?
more than you get. Thoughts on Ilan Papa's historical work?
Ilan Papa. Thanks for the $10. Yeah. Finkelstein was like asking about this
Remember the
flour mill that got
Holodomor?
hit. And he was like, tell me, Benny Morris, Dr. Morris, what happened to the flour mill? And I think Morris's response was just like, I have no idea what was going on in the flour mill, and you don't either. It was like,
Remember the
I think
Holodomor?
that's a really good. I feel like that's a sound response because if those, yeah, that's kind of my position. I don't know, and you probably don't either. Like, yeah. Oh, thanks for all the Prime subs, guys. I need to keep up with you. Shit. Oh, it's a level 2 hype train going on Twitch, you guys. It's only 100 of you. Fuck. It's crazy out there, chat. Why can't I see the subs, though? Oh, well. I appreciate the Prime subs, even though I couldn't see your name fast enough. John Morris, thanks for the sub, too. This would not satisfy quibbles. Don't know. Oh. Oh, thanks, Abaddon. All right. Oh, does Keffels and Wap Goblin have more drama? Why are so many of the people I follow such vile people? Probably because you're a fucking.
Only one can be Britain's.
Whoa, Maverick, thanks for the $10 dono. Do you think IDF officials have backed themselves into a corner building up the Hamas thing? I can't read those comments fast enough, and they don't show up on Twitch. Fuck. I'm so sorry. They don't even show up on Streamlabs. Oh God. Type it in Twitch chat and I'll read it. Type your comment again. But thanks for the $10. I haven't had that one in a while. Oh, yeah, what was I saying? Why are so many people I follow such vile people? Because you're a fucking attention-grabbing, brain-damaged cunt who just goes on the internet and just looks for people to get angry at. And if you can't find anything, you'll just grab a 10-second clip, completely reinterpret the fuck out of it, and then get angry at that. And that's all you have to contribute to the entire world, is to offer nothing positive or creative or interesting to the world, and just find other people who are doing, or at least trying to do that, and just drag them down with you. That's why you have vile people in your Twitter feed. That's you. Dumb cunt. Anyway, let's watch that video. Keffel's live. My biggest hater had a Joker moment. Hey, let's go.
Why are so many of the people I follow such vile people?
Hey.
Why am I following such awful, vile people? This is a self-awareness moment. Like, you're so close.
What were those?
Awful, vile people. This is a self.
Leftist telling a disabled trans woman to get a job is so insanely disrespectful and just ableist. Uh-oh. Don't care. We'll be sleeping easy. It's a oh, so she actually is talking about other leftists. Yeah. Yeah, because you've joined a cult of fucking online mental illness that has nothing to do with politics and everything to do with finding excuses to just be like as vitriolic as possible in a way that's like acceptable in progressive social media. Ugh. Lenin enjoyer. Love it.
Self-awareness moment. Like, you're so close.
Thanks for the $1.99, Grolixes. I'm glad you like the haircut.
So Blood is having a.
Would you be okay with me doing an oil painting of you? Yeah, go for it. Sounds banging. People have done drawings of me before, or like these kind of digital illustrations of me. They're always quite cute. They always make me look different from how I actually look. I've noticed that. Maybe it's just because of the camera angle. Maybe I just have like a slightly different. I don't know.
Moment again, which is it's real funny. Blood is apparently also subscribed to the. She subscribed to me because she's in the Catboy Ranch Discord, and she grabbed some screenshots of me posting this cursed image of Palestine Israel lesbians hugging it out, and I said I found a solution to the conflict. She posted this and said, a reminder that Muslims and Jewish people can't marry each other in Israel. Another reminder that same-sex marriage isn't legal in Israel either.
You smart.
Is it legal in we can okay. That's a problem. It's probably not legal in any of Israel's neighboring countries either. Okay.
It's just wild how it's like it's a fucking joke. It's like, why are you such a buzzkill? Why are jokes illegal now? Same energy, human.
My main thing is academic realism, so it should be fairly easy to get your likeness, lol, thanks to have an Instagram or somewhere I can find good pics of you. I think if you just dig through my Twitter, you'll find stuff. You'll find good pictures. I don't have an Instagram, though.
And kind beyond faith and... But yeah, no. It's really funny. I love having the most unhinged haters of all time. Oh, I see she's, now she's beefing with Maeve. Because I posted it, and I said, like, I'm being informed I did not get the memo, the jokes are now illegal. And she responded, that would involve you being funny. And then she said, Blood, you've devoted your life to taking down an internet personality. That's the biggest joke of all. And she said, it's amusing. You think I'm putting much effort into helping down the sinking ship that is Keffels, the media entity and failed trans activist. I'm on far too many drugs for that. And then she responds to Maeve, I don't know you either, so please use my fake handle Nalissa to address me. Yeah, no, so I made a new channel.
You can't be wearing Christmas clothes in fucking November. That's really gross. Okay.
Channel in the Catboy Ranch,
Gonna have to
which
burn
I
the
think will be
bridge.
very fun.
Gonna have to.
I want to go
get
over
on
some
it.
of it. So let's have some fun today. So I made a channel called Tanky Watch. So people are really mad at Wop Goblin now. Wop Goblin's friends are turning on Wop Goblin because Wop Goblin will not stop posting about me, and even the Tankies are like, why the fuck are you doing this? Like, what does this have to do with any of the shit they care, like, we care about? This is literally a fucking Twitch streamer, and you're
almost as if it's nothing to do with politics and just looking for an excuse to be toxic towards people on the internet in a way that feels like you're doing something righteous. Interesting.
dedicating like it.
I don't know. Sorry. Hang on. Maybe I'm being too... Maybe I'm being... If I remember correctly, hang on. Oh yeah, I muted her a while ago because she was so fucking annoying.
Loaderbox, you smarmy cuck
I mean,
bastard.
she is 23. Like, maybe she'll... I think 23-year-olds can change. I don't know. Because it's no way to live. It's not good for you. Unless she just really enjoys being bad faith and angry on the internet and simping for the fucking EFF, like the whitest cunt possible. Like, does this person know what these policies did to fucking Zimbabwe? Does this person know that after achieving equality, fucking Robert Mugabe just decided to blame all the fucking failures on the white population, and so they expropriated the white farmers and he just gave all the land to his friends and just collapsed the entire fucking economy? Like, do they know? Does she know? Fuck. Nah, we don't want any of that peace, reconciliation, and nation building. We just want executions, expropriation, evictions. Why? I don't know. Just for the hell of it, you know? So that white people can celebrate it on Twitter while our own people suffer like 99% unemployment and shit. And we torture our political opponents to death. Yeah, okay, nice.
An inordinate amount of time to getting mad about a goddamn Twitch streamer. But I found this video of one of the tankies that are mad about WAP Goblin, just like fucking A-logging me. And it's like, okay, so take a look.
Quote tweeter with the meme. What meme?
So they posted this, and this is like looking up Keffels under WAP Goblin's account, and it's 45 entire seconds of tweets about me. Just insane. Insane. Just I don't feel bad saying that WAP Goblin needs to get mental health support, because like WAP Goblin lives in Canada. You know, you can find that. You can get that for free. You should consider it. I thought it was looping for a second.
Don't signal boost this dog shit drama. Who do you think I am? What? I will signal boost. I'm gonna watch 3 drama videos now.
Remember the
Holodomor?
Holodomor?
I'm gonna watch manifesto videos all night. Thanks, Speed, for the sub.
It wasn't looping. We reached the end. Jesus Christ. 100 posts about me in 3 months. You're literally her daily hate reel 1984 hours. Oh my god.
That's one a day, isn't it? That's more than one a day. Ooh. I don't even get that treatment. I don't think anyone speaks about me that much.
Okay, so I was
But
trying.
I guess I'm not trans, so the expectations for me are lower, I suppose. And I'm also not like an ex-tanky.
To figure out what's going on here. Yeah, so one of the people mad at WAP Goblin tweeted out, there's an ongoing genocide happening, and she's posting about Keffels. You know, like the thing where they
KKK
take the
Keffels.
1K and creatively add an additional 2Ks. Because, you know, that I apparently I don't know what I did, to be fair. But anyway,
I feel like Keffel's entire demeanor has changed. She's just like, she's talking like almost like Ethan Klein. She's just very like chill podcaster vibes now. Yeah.
this is a real thing that was said by WAP Goblin, and it blows my mind. WAP Goblin said, suddenly the literal thousands of retweets I've been posting, literally 24/7 for a month about Palestine, mean nothing because of a handful of posts about Keffels, a person who literally makes YouTube content about me.
Keffel got married since leaving Canada for Northern Ireland. Oh damn! I wonder if I should have asked her to hang out with me and Dylan, in on the weekend soon. I guess there's still time. I guess getting from Northern Ireland to Scotland's a bit of a hassle, you know? You gotta fly and shit. Or get a boat. You gotta go boat. Or maybe I should have taken Dylan to Ireland. Ooh. Northern Ireland. All right, I don't know.
I had a joke. I had a joke about how I thought that a lot of people like WAP Goblin and
Finally
like the
starting that
other
3 hours
internet
podcast.
leftists thought that posting was literally political activism. But no, WAP Goblin actually believes that. WAP Goblin believes that their thousands of retweets about Palestine constitute some sort of political praxis, and that's got to be one of the saddest fucking things I have ever heard. So, someone replied to WAP Goblin, "You need to get a fucking job." And then Thembo responds, "Lead by example." And then Nick's responding, "I do actually. I'm disabled and have a job. She should follow me example." WAP Goblin quote tweeted and said, "I'm disabled, go fuck yourself." And then Nick says, "If you think disabled people can't have jobs, you're unironically ableist."
To be fair, we don't know what kind of disability. Oh, I feel bad now. Bro, this person's not well. Why do I fight with this person? I guess like if you're online, you know, you're still making the choice to put yourself out there and shit. Oh god, I don't know. Why do you feel bad? Because it's punching down. Like it's insanely punching down. I mean, sometimes I feel like I have to do it because I need to correct the record and shit. Because she's out here saying I want to nuke Gaza. I'm like, bro, let's talk about my opinions on nuking Gaza for a second, okay? Let's just lay out, okay, pros and cons of nuking Gaza. The pros, I can't really think of any. No, not off the top of my head. The cons, you're nuking Gaza. Like, do you understand? You understand how you might have maybe processed something incorrectly in your fucking calculus before you went on Twitter like a fucking retard? Like, oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. Sorry. So I feel like I sometimes have to defend myself, even if the person attacking me is like 2 feet tall, whacking me with a leaf. I still have to.
And then someone responds to Nick, "I can't believe a supposed communist saying things like these." And
Do not
then Nick
show
responds,
weakness.
"I'm not an anti-work
Stop.
a utopian." And then a new challenger comes into the fray, Morfati, "From each according to his ability to each according to his need." And Nick just responds, "Okay." They're all going at each other's throats. This is
Kind of depends on disability. Everyone has autism or ADHD these days. They can claim disability. Yeah, I think if you're, I don't know, it depends though. Like if I wanted to, if I was going to say that I explain why I can't work, I feel like I would say something more than I'm disabled, but speaking of, and again, I don't know why, yeah, you shouldn't really say you're disabled if you have autism or ADHD, I don't think, should you? Is that kind of being disabled? Maybe. I don't know how contemporary discourse works. Probably not. No? I don't think you can get disabled parking if you're. Is that the threshold? Is that the threshold? If you can get disabled parking, you're gonna win an argument. I found out today that I have ADHD. I got diagnosed today. Just so you guys know, I am. I'm off the charts. No, I'm obviously there's a fucking. It's out of like a score, but I'm pretty high scoring. Oh god, we weren't even halfway through the page. It was like, okay, you've already crossed the threshold. I was like, yeah. I'm riddled. I'm absolutely riddled with this stuff. I'm full of it. It's dripping out my ears. Okay.
This is sad. Also kind of funny. So WAP Goblin quote tweets Nick and says, "If I said what I thought of you, I'd be banned from this site. Go fuck yourself." And then Nick responds, "Hey dumb fuck, if you hate Keppel so much, stop giving her shit to make videos on. If people like you didn't give so much attention, she'd fade out immediately." And then Ray's responding here, "I'm confused which one of you hates hates Keffels more. Whoever hates her more wins.
How did you ever cope before? I didn't, bro. My life is really difficult. Like every day for me is quite difficult. I just, I try, and I don't want to work in a shop again, so that's what keeps me going.
And then Nick responds, I hate Keffel.
Aren't you autistic as well? Yeah. I've been autistic since I was 13. Well, I was diagnosed when I was 13,
But I don't spend all day every day thinking and tweeting about her. And now someone named
Raheem, you got low ADHD like me. Yeah. Well, do you like me now? You gonna start agreeing with things I say now? All right. Don't apologize. They're forcing you into a self-defense situation. Yeah.
EM said, well, like, why are you up her ass then? What's the issue if someone you hate is being shat on constantly? And then Nick responds, talking about Wop Goblin. 100 tweets about a single person in 3 months is weird. And then Ray responds, how is that weird at all? No, that is weird. That is obsessive behavior. I have not tweeted about any single person that many times in 3 months. That is more than one tweet a day. Swinksy, thank you for the $10. I despise you, ma'am. Yeah, get in line.
Why didn't you go to uni?
Oh, shit.
I did go to uni. Yeah, I did. Why do you think I didn't go to uni? What type of ADHD? I don't know there were types. Huh? Oh, like the two categories. Like, attention deficit and hyperactivity. But I was pretty fucking high on both, but I was like maxed out on the attention deficit. I was maxed out on that. I didn't get 3 subtypes, so I got 2. But I was maxed out. I was min-maxing. I was max-minning. The thing is, I never knew that. I always just associate ADHD with people bouncing off the walls, which I did do as a kid, but then I guess I just kind of got a bit more subdued as I got older. So I just never really thought it like fit me at all. But yeah. Christina, thanks for the tier 1 sub. And who's this person? Ahmad with the 1999 reals. I once did an ableism by offering my spot to a skinny dude at the bench press, only for them to blow past my personal best by 40 kilograms. # be better. Listen, wherever you are, they've been there too. Okay, you're on your own journey.
I stopped myself. I was about to call you a slur, and then I realized I'm dual streaming to Twitch now, so I have stopped. I'm no more slurring. I am reformed because I would like to be on both platforms. Why am I streaming on both? Because I don't have balls, but I would like to dip my metaphorical balls into both the YouTube and Twitch algorithm simultaneously.
Yes.
That's the reason.
I should shut down. I should crash my YouTube just to get you guys on Twitch.
You smarmy
cuck
bastard.
Someone posted a screenshot of 2 people fighting. So Ismail says, leftist telling a disabled trans woman to get a job is so insanely disrespectful and just ableism. And Lennon Enjoyer responds, don't care, plus we will be sleeping easy tonight. And Wop Goblin said, why are so many of the people I follow such vile people?
What was it I said? Don't judge people based on how they treat you as a friend. Judge how they treat other people. Judge how they treat people who are not their friends. Oh, yeah. Which drugs are you going to try? Well, there's a Vyvanse shortage in the UK, so it's going to be Ritalin, I think.
The self-awareness here is wild. And by self-awareness, I mean complete lack of self-awareness. Why am I following such awful, vile people. Imagine. So
why is Twitch better? Because I've just been so embarrassed by my Twitch performance. My Twitch performance was just dog shit for the whole time. I think I would, on a good week, I would get like 200 viewers average on a good month. I don't know. I just couldn't hack the Twitch job. Couldn't do it. But I guess that's happening to everyone in Twitch politics. So I don't know. But also because it means people can come and give their Prime subs. Yeah. And because gifties, people go mad with the gifties. That Rhizome guy has like 200 concurrent viewers and his Twitch is just popping off all the time. He's just rolling in it. If I watch him right now, is he probably just like hyping up a hype train? It's like a 50% chance he is.
People just don't pay their fucking taxes.
No, he's not.
On the right.
Okay, whatever.
This is a self-awareness moment. Like, you're so close. So
Yeah.
WoP Goblin follows this up. Their account bio, Maoist/leftcom who loves revolution, let's end all oppression. The way they talk about fellow Marxists, they deserve to be skinned alive because they're annoying and they're...
Did Keffels ever say anything about the trans genocide situation you were involved in? As far as I know, she didn't. She might have, but nothing got sent to me, or she never confronted me about it or anything. So just let it go, you know? I imagine Gayfesh will have been in her chat fucking screeching at her about it, but to be fair, I don't even know what he feels about me now. Probably, I feel like he's immovable. I don't think I'm ever repairing vibes with Gayfesh.
and that mildly inconveniences me when I scroll through Twitter. And WoP Goblin also posted this, which is the thumbnail to like when I was talking about addiction on
Dream
stream.
Wisp, thanks for the sub.
I used this this meme that Tipster made me as a thumbnail because I thought it was funny. Like me as Scarface in front of the cocaine pile. WoP Goblin posted this and said, Keffel's own editors photoshopped her as Scarface and she made it her thumbnail. Does she have a humiliation fetish? And then WoP Goblin's reply to this: I have stayed away from making fun of her drug addiction because it's a horrible thing to go through, but why are her own editors being far more ruthless to her than I have ever been? This wasn't my editor who you chose the thumbnail, this was me. So this is literally just WoP Goblin mocking a drug addict right now for being able to make light of it. That's fucking weird, dude. It's apparently illegal to make fun of the fact that you've struggled with addiction. That's crazy. So Blood was getting involved in this too. Nick said,
You're about to be locked in. What? Why?
WoP Goblin needs to shut the fuck up about Keffels, I'm sorry. And Blood
my
comes
God.
in and says, liberal. And Nick responds, you were literally a Keffels mod. You have
Simon L,
zero
thanks for the gift of sub.
room in this convo. And Blood responds, yes. It's why I understand how dangerous Clara has become. So Nick responds to this. Also, she's not dangerous. None of you are. This is the
Hey,
internet, for
base
fuck's
Nick.
sakes.
What a
So to
god.
the people who don't understand this history, Blood was a former mod of my old Discord server who got kicked out for being too unhinged. Oh my god, the Yankee Tanky. The Yankee Tanky joined the fray here. So on the in the replies to this, the Yankee Tanky said no, and she doesn't because that would make her criticism of me correct. I have no idea what that means. I think I understand. So the Yankee Tanky has been trying to get into a debate with me recently on social media that I don't
Hey.
really care about doing. His most recent thing is that he is going after and attacking trans people because there's no trans genocide and there's a Palestinian genocide. So if anyone ever and if anyone has ever like said there is a trans genocide, they apparently hate Palestinians or something. He also said that trans people are the
Oh no. It's like I keep saying, you know, genocide is just, it's such a, people only use it for furthering like whatever political cause they care about. The more you care about a political cause, the more you're willing to call it things genocide. That's why people call the fucking Iraq war genocide, or like the Afghan fucking government funds being frozen by the United States when the Taliban took over. Apparently that was genocide, you know? Yeah.
Lioness of the left, which is just a
Debate
fucking brain
genocider.
damage take that is completely nonsensical. I mean, okay, chat, do I have a humiliation fetish? Yes. However, that has nothing to do with my content. Absolutely just nothing to do with it, okay? You're a streamer, you have a humiliation fetish. Correct. That's so true. Whole lot of not watching the video going on. Apparently talking about addiction could only be a cover for racism. Oh boy, what is going on here? So these are apparently all the replies to Wop Goblin. Okay. So the first one. Shot in the dark here, but I'm guessing this is less about addicts as a whole and more about people being mean to her specifically. And then the reply to this is the left fails drug addicts. Lol, let me guess. It's gonna be her crying about people not accepting her whole "the drugs made me racist" excuse. And no, it's just like fucking it's still fucking bizarre to me. Like the constant like cries and claims that I am racist when I don't understand what I even did. Like as I've said in the past, like if I saw the accusation, I would be willing to address it, but I honestly don't even know. It's just like a demented game of telephone. I made the white woman noodles. I didn't make the white woman dumplings though. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way.
No, not the white woman noodles.
Chat, you all know Ro Khanna, right? Like the congressman? Okay, so when I was in DC...
There's no way Ro Khanna got fucking briefed on Noodles Gate. There's no way. Did that happen? It could have happened. The fact that it's not impossible. That someone in the screening process was like... Apparently she is racist because she said something about noodles. Wait. We have to be down with the youth. We have to take this seriously for a minute. Why is it racist to write a cookbook about dumplings and noodles if you're white?
Apparently, I wasn't here for this conversation, but he asked what it was that I did that was so controversial, and someone had to explain white woman noodles to Ro Khanna. So at least one member of US Congress knows about the noodles. My life is so fucking stupid. Like, people have no fucking idea. So another person said, "You guys don't understand. The drugs made me racist and hateful." I wish they would watch the video. That was such a wholesome conversation. I like broke down crying reading what some of the people were saying.
Is live
the contrast
regarding
between what they think
meeting with
about me and like how our community actually is just so wild. This, oh my god, what the fuck? For me personally, even if you wish for her to relapse, she already has too much blood in her hands for me to feel any sympathy for her. Wait. Blood.
Biden takes questions.
Lives, and I appreciate President Xi's commitment on this issue. President Xi and I tasked our teams to maintain a policy and law enforcement.
Oh, this started like just a minute ago. You're good. You're good.
And now we'll hear from the president what happened.
Biden.
I didn't know this many people in town.
Sven, thanks for the 1 sub.
Please have a seat.
Biden.
As you know, I just concluded several hours of meetings with President Xi, and I believe they were some of the most constructive and productive discussions we've had. I've been meeting with President Xi since both of us were vice president over 10 years ago. Our meetings have always been candid and straightforward. We haven't always agreed, but they've been straightforward.
You want to get your subs on YouTube now for the Biden blast? I want to see an obscene amount of Biden blasts in chat. Go on. There's enough of you. There are enough subs. We almost have I think we almost have like 300 or 400 members in this channel now. 300 or 400 degenerates. Don't even talk if you're a white name. You fucking waste of space. Sleepy Billy Bailey, thanks for the sub. Yeah, there we go. Biden blast. Fire at will. Let's go.
And today, build on the groundwork we laid over the past several months of high-level diplomacy between our teams. We've made some important progress, I believe. First, I'm pleased to announce that after many...
Mats again, thanks for the 20 gifted subs. Let the fucking Biden blast go. Reload.
Remember the Holodomor? On hold, we are restarting cooperation between...
Do they have Biden blasts on Twitch? I don't know if they do. Ben Turong, thanks for the sub.
The United States and PRC on counter-narcotics. In 2019, you may remember, China took action to greatly reduce the amount of fentanyl shipped directly from China to the United States. But in the years since that time, the challenge has evolved from finished fentanyl to fentanyl chemical ingredients and pill presses, which are being shipped without control. And by the way, some of these pills are being inserted in other drugs like cocaine. A lot of people are dying. More people in the United States between the ages of 18 and 49 die from fentanyl than from guns, car accidents, or any other cause, period. So today, with this new understanding, we're taking action to significantly reduce the flow of precursor chemicals and pill presses from China to the Western Hemisphere. It's going to save lives, and I appreciate President Xi's commitment on this issue. President Xi and I tasked our teams to maintain a policy and law enforcement coordination going forward to make sure it works. I also want to thank the bipartisan congressional delegation to China, led by Leader Schumer, in October, for supporting this effort so strongly. Secondly, and this is critically important, We're reassuming military-to-military contact, direct contacts. As a lot of you press know, follow this, that's been cut off, and it's been very worrisome. That's how accidents happen, misunderstandings. So we're back to direct, open, clear, direct communications on a direct basis. Vital miscalculations on either side can cause real trouble with a country like China or any other major country. And so I think we're made real progress there as well. And thirdly, we're going to get our experts together to discuss risk and safety issues associated with artificial intelligence. As many of you who travel with me around the world, almost everywhere I go, every major leader wants to talk about the impact of artificial intelligence. These are tangible steps in the right direction.
There's going to be a time when I actually have to care about AI because I just don't know anything or care about AI. But I feel like it's going to actually be a thing that influences my life at some point, and I'm going to need to be like, oh, wait. I'm going to have to do a research stream on AI. Oh, God.
To determine what's useful and what's not useful.
Come
what's
on,
dangerous
Biden.
And what's acceptable.
Help it make sense.
There are evidence
help
of
me make
cases
sense of it
that,
as a citizen.
that I've made all along. The United States will continue to compete vigorously with the PRC. But we'll manage that
Raider, thanks for tier 1 sub.
So it doesn't veer into conflict or accidental conflict.
Load up your Biden blast.
Possible,
Let's go.
Where our interests coincide.
Come to the
we're
front
gonna work
line.
Together like we did on fentanyl. That's what the world expects of us. The rest of the world expects, not just in people in China and the United States, but the rest of the world expects that of us. And that's what the United States is going to be doing. Today, President Xi and I also exchanged views on a range of regional and global issues, including Russia's refusal and brutal war to stop the war and brutal war of aggression against Ukraine and conflict in Gaza. And as I always do, I raised areas where the United States has concerns about the PRC's actions, including detained and exit banned U.S. citizens, human rights, and coercive activities in the South China Sea. We discussed all three of those things. I gave them names of individuals that we think are being held, and hopefully we can get them released as well.
Holy King Kong.
No agreement on that.
Thanks for this tier 1 sub.
I also stressed the importance of peace and stability in the Taiwan Straits. It's clear that we object to Beijing's non-market economic practices.
You've got to get the sub. Let's go. Get the front line.
Disadvantage American businesses and workers, and we'll
People are dying.
People
are dying out there.
I welcome the positive steps we've taken today, and it's important for the world to see that we're implementing the approach in the best traditions of American diplomacy. We're talking to our competitors, and the key and just talking, just blunt with one another, so there's no misunderstanding, as a key element to maintaining global stability and delivering for the American people. In the months ahead, we're going to continue to preserve and pursue high-level diplomacy with the PRC in both directions to keep the lines of communication open, including between President Xi and me. He and I agreed that each one of us could pick up the phone, call directly, and would be heard immediately. And that's now I'd like to be able to take some questions, if I may. And I'm told that Dimitri of the Financial Times has the first question.
Thank you. And as an Irishman, I apologize for bringing the rain.
Well, holy God, I wouldn't have called on you if I'd known that. No, I'm teasing. Go ahead, fire away.
President Biden, given that America is playing a key role in two major global crises, in Ukraine and in Gaza, does that alter your previous commitment to defend Taiwan from any Chinese military action and to Xi Jinping outline the conditions under which China would attack Taiwan?
Look, I reiterate what I've said since I've become president, what every previous president of late has said, that we maintain an agreement that there is a one China policy, and that I'm not going to change that. That's not going to change. And so that's about the extent to which we discussed it. Next question, sorry, was Bloomberg.
It appears, among other issues, that your agreement with President Xi over fentanyl will require a lot of trust and verification to ensure success, curbing those drug flows. I'm wondering, after today, and considering all that you've been through in the past year, would you say, Mr. President, that you trust President Xi? And secondly, if I could, on Taiwan, you and your administration officials have warned President Xi and China about interference in the upcoming election. I'm wondering, what would the consequences be if they do, in fact, interfere in the election?
Well, I had that discussion with him, too, made it clear I didn't expect any interference, any at all. And we had that discussion as he was leaving. Look, do I trust you? I trust but verify, as that old saying goes. That's where I am. And, we're in a competitive relationship, China and the United States. But my responsibility is to make this rational and manageable, so it doesn't result in conflict. That's what I'm all about. That's what this is about. To find a place where we can come together and where we find mutual interest that, but most importantly, from my perspective, that are in the interest of the American people. That's what this is about. And that's exactly what we'll do. We're in a situation where we agreed that fentanyl and its precursors will be curbed substantially, and the pill presses. That's a big movement. They're doing that. And by the way, I guess I shouldn't identify where it occurred, but John, I know 2 people near where I live. Their kids literally, as I said, strange, they woke up dead. Someone had inserted in, whether the young man did or not, inserted in a drug he was taking, fentanyl. Again, I hope you don't have any experience with knowing anyone, but this is the largest killer, people in that age category. And,
woke up dead.
The other thing
you can't
I
wake
think
up
is
dead.
most important is that since I've spent more time with President Xi than any world leader has, just because we were vice presidents
Oh
his
no.
president.
The adrenochrome's fading.
I'm not making
He's
a
back to
joke.
regular speed. We've
President
caught up.
Hu and
We need to
and
boost him.
President Obama thought
We need
should
some more
get to know
Biden
one
blast.
another. Wasn't
We
appropriate
need to fill
for
him
the
up.
President of the United States to be dealing with the Vice President. So we met, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 68 hours of just face-to-face, just us and a simultaneous interpreter. So
Hit him again,
I think
Jack.
I know the man. I know his modus operandi. He's been. We have disagreements. He has a different view than I have on a lot of things, but he's been straight. I don't mean that it's good, bad, or indifferent. It's just been straight. And we, as I said, the thing that I find most assuring is he raised, and I fully agree, that either one of us have any concern, Mr. Ambassador, any concern about anything between our nations or happening in our region, we should pick up the phone and call one another, and we'll take the call. That's an important progress. I am embarrassed. I think it's CBS, but I can't remember who is CBS. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
Mr. President, good day.
Sorry. I apologize.
Oh.
You continue to stress the need to ensure competition with China does not veer into conflict or competition. In the past 2 years, there have been 180 incidents of Chinese aggression against U.S. aircraft in the Indo-Pacific, and of course, ramped up military activity in the South China Sea. If that does not count as veering into competition, then what does? And did you issue warnings against that?
That's rough.
Well, first of all, none of it did end up in a conflict, number one. Number two, you may recall I did a few little things like get the Quad together, allow Australia to have access to new submarines, moving in the direction of working with the Philippines. So our actions speak louder than our words. He fully understands.
And because of the news of the day, sir, I do have a question about the idea of raid on the Al-Shifa hospital. As it tries to contain and take out the Hamas that is there.
IDF raid on the Al-Shifa hospital. Hamas base is there.
So when you weigh the target against the number of civilians inside the hospital, is the operation underway justified?
Is it justified because it's civilians?
We did discuss
Gotcha.
this, by the way.
Good question.
But we can't let it get out of control. Here's the situation. You have a circumstance where the first war crime is being committed by Hamas by having their headquarters, their military, hidden under a hospital. And that's a fact. That's what's happened. Israel did not go in with large number of troops, did not raid, did not rush everything down. They've gone in, and they've gone in with their soldiers carrying weapons, their guns. They were told, let me be precise. We've discussed the need for them to be incredibly careful. You have a circumstance where you know there is a fair number of Hamas terrorists. Hamas has already said publicly that they plan on attacking Israel again, like they did before, do everything from cutting babies' heads off to burning women and children alive. And so the idea that they're going to just stop and not do anything is not realistic. This is not the carpet bombing. This is a different thing. They're going through these tunnels. They're going in the hospital. And if you notice, I was mildly preoccupied today. I apologize. I didn't see everything. But what I did see, whether I haven't had it confirmed yet, I am asked my team to answer the question. But what happened is they're also bringing in incubators. We're bringing in other means to help the people in the hospital. And they've given the doctors and, I'm told, the doctors and nurses and personnel an opportunity to get out of harm's way. So this is a different story than I believe what was occurring before with indiscriminate bombing. What do you got? Washington Post.
Washington Post.
Mr. President.
Oh, there you are. Sorry, I couldn't see in the light.
Mr. President, Israel's war in Gaza more than 11,000 Palestinians just for a month and
I'm
created.
sorry, you're breaking up. I didn't.
What is wrong with that fucking microphone? Why are this is the president of the United States. God damn it. This is our president, my president. I'm in Scotland. He's my president. Why don't we have a working mic for my president?
Israel's war in Gaza has killed more than 11,000 Palestinians in just over a month and created a humanitarian disaster. Israeli officials have said this war could take months or even years. Have you communicated to Prime Minister Netanyahu any sort of deadline or time frame for how long you are willing to support Israel in this operation? Are you comfortable with the operation?
There's no way he would say a time frame. Like what? Fucking 2 months and we're out, Jack. No way he would do that. Like,
going on indefinitely? And is there any deal underway to free hostages? Thank you.
Yes, no, working backwards, forward. Look, I have been deeply involved in moving on the hostage negotiation.
Done by
I
tomorrow.
don't want to get ahead of myself here because I don't know what's happened in the last 4 hours, but I have. We've got.
They said it'll take 2 months. We'll be done in 2 weeks, Jack.
Great cooperation from the Qataris. I've spoken with them as well a number of times. I think the pause, and that the Israelis have agreed to, it's down to, well, I'm getting too much detail. I know, Mr. Secretary, I'm going to stop. But I am mildly hopeful. I'm mildly hopeful.
What's she laughing at?
With regard to when is this going to stop? I think it's going to stop when when Hamas no longer maintains the capacity to murder and abuse and just do horrific things to the Israelis. And they still think that, at least as of this morning, they still thought they could. I guess the best way for me to say it is that I take a look. The IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, acknowledges they have an obligation to use as much caution as they can in going after their targets. It's not like they're rushing in the hospital, knocking down doors and, pulling people aside and shooting people indiscriminately. But Hamas, as I said they plan on attacking Israelis again. And this is a terrible dilemma. So what do you do? I think that Israel is also taking risks themselves about their folks being killed and one-to-one going through these hospital rooms, hospital halls. But one thing has been established is that Hamas does have headquarters, weapons, materiel below this
Materiel.
hospital. And I suspect others. But how long
So he's pretty confident with that as well, isn't he?
it's going to last, I don't know. Look, I made it clear
Remember
to the
the Holodomor?
Israelis that
Thanks, Aquila. Thanks for the sub.
to Bibi and to his war cabinet, that I think the only ultimate answer here
We got the U.S. intel
is a
staff.
two-state solution. It's real.
Bastard.
We got to get to the point where there is an ability to be able to even talk without worrying about whether or not we're just dealing with, they're dealing with Hamas that's going to engage in the same activities they did over the past, on the 7th. So but I can't tell, I'm not a fortune teller, I can't tell you how long it's going to last. But I can tell you, I don't think it ultimately ends until there's a two-state solution. I made it clear to the Israelis, I think it's a big mistake for them to think they're going to occupy Gaza and maintain Gaza. I don't think
There's a
that
new
works.
article from the
And
media
so
line.
I think you're going to see.
I think they're just showing
efforts
the
to,
MRI video, yeah.
Bring along, well, I shouldn't go into any more because that's been things I've been negotiating with Arab countries and others about what the next steps are. But anyway, thank you all very much. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you. This ends the press conference.
when Hamas said they plan on doing the same thing again, what they did on the 7th. They're going to go in, they want to slaughter Israelis. They want to do it again. They've said it out loud. They're not kidding about it. They're not backing off. And so I just asked a rhetorical question. I wonder what we would do if that were the case.
On the hostages, though, you said we're coming for you. What do you mean to the American hostages when you said, hang tight, we're coming for you?
What I meant was I'm doing everything in my power to get you out. Coming to help you, to get you out. I don't mean sending military in to get them. Is that what you thought I might mean? No. I was not talking about military.
Boots on the ground, Jack.
You're on our mind every single day, 5-6 times a day. I'm working on how I can be helpful in getting the hostages released and have a period of time where there's a pause long enough to let that happen. And there are somewhere between 50 and 100 hostages there, we think.
And sir, one's a 3-year-old American child.
You're darn right it is. That's why I'm not going to stop till we get her. Who can help Morales?
Can you detail for us what kind of evidence the U.S. has seen that Hamas has a command center under Al-Shifa Hospital?
No, I can't tell you. I won't tell you.
Do you feel absolutely confident based on what you know that that is the truth?
Yes.
And Mr. President, after today, would you still refer to President Xi as a dictator? This is a term that you used earlier this year.
Well, look, he is. I mean, he's a dictator in the sense that he is a guy who runs a country that is a communist country that is based on a form of government totally different than ours. Anyway, we may
Damn. Yeah, we do things a bit differently, you know.
President Biden
The adrenochrome.
eventually leaving the room there in Woodside, California,
strong.
taking some extra questions at the end. Here are some of the big takeaways. He started off by saying
Remember
that
the
he and
Holodomor?
Chinese
Quantum
President
Cross,
Xi
thanks for
made
the
progress
sub.
on curbing fentanyl exports to the United States, and also they've restarted or agreed to restart direct communication between the U.S. and Chinese military. President Biden said the two leaders would keep communication open. And the president also took questions on other issues, including Israel's actions in Gaza as they respond to the October 7th attacks by Hamas. I'm joined by James Homan, Rhonda Colvin, and Olivier Knox. James, I want to start in reverse order there and start where President Biden left off. In case our audience couldn't quite hear some of the questions being yelled there at the end, let's go over some of the details that we did learn from the president about what he's saying to Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel and also what he believes the U.S. role is at this moment in Israel.
Absolutely. And for those who couldn't quite hear, that last question was, you've said in the past that Xi Jinping is a dictator. Do you still believe that? Biden said yes. But the news there, again, some of the shouted questions, and we'll talk about the broader substance. Peter Alexander from NBC said, are you going to use the U.S. military to go in and get the hostages, 50 to 100 hostages? Biden said, no, I'm not talking about U.S. military. I'm talking about doing everything else in my power. He said Qatar has been really helpful in the Arab countries. On Israel, he's trying to thread the needle here a little bit. Obviously, expressing support and solidarity.
Oh, Nuance, thanks for the tier 1 sub. And Ahmed, do you think Biden uncritically parroting Israeli talking points 1-to-1 will come back to bite him in the elections with the Muslim progressive voters? Thanks for the 1999 reals. I don't know if he is, because I thought America hadn't fully signed off on the hospital base until yesterday, no? Because that was like US intel confirmed. And me personally, you know, I personally have strong faith in US intel, and have done from at least 2004 onwards. Yeah, for at least 19 years, they've had no problems. What are you talking about?
With Israel, but saying we can't let it get out of control, saying very definitively in his own words, putting the prestige of the United States on the line, that Hamas's military headquarters is hidden underneath the hospital, crediting Israel for not, as he said, this is not carpet bombing, it's not indiscriminate, for sending in troops to go into this Al-Shifa hospital where the Israelis say Hamas has been operating militarily. And then our colleague Yasmin asked, how long will the U.S. support Israel in this war? Biden said that he's not a fortune teller. He doesn't know how long it's going to last. But I think this is news. He said, I've told Israel it is a mistake to think that they can occupy Gaza. kind of suggesting where the pressure is going. On the hostages, at that point, he said that he's mildly hopeful, but didn't want to get ahead of the negotiations. And so not a ton new there. Obviously, the administration hopes for movement on these hostages. There was a very large demonstration here in Washington yesterday by supporters of Israel, coming on the heels of a large pro-Palestinian march a few weeks ago. So this is obviously very fraught and delicate. You saw Biden looking at Tony Blinken, the Secretary of State, and saying, "I'm not going to say any more. I don't want to get over my skis."
Even though he kept talking.
And then he kept talking.
Yeah, I do want to point out, though, this question about the hospital is so essential and so sensitive. The Washington Post has reporting talking about how
Bro,
this.
I need crazy people in my audience. I'm going to bring this caller in and see what they have to say. Sexy Jedi, hello. How's it going? I don't know where. Hello? You cut out, Jack.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was asking if you could hear me now.
There you are. Yeah. Hi.
Hey, sorry about last night. I was just gonna. I mean, this isn't even an important topic, but I don't think too much about the Israel Gaza stuff because I don't think there's really, I think everything's gonna just happen. Kind of doomer, kind of black pilled about it. So what I was wondering about was, and I wanted to keep it short, was if you've heard of Yasha Monk and like his new book that he wrote, because I've listened to a few of the interviews with him and I've read a couple of chapters of the book, and I think it seems to do a pretty good job at explaining why we see the craziness we do on college campuses, for example.
Okay.
I'm way too high to try to explain it, so you'd probably just have to look it up in your free time or whatever. But I guess he calls it the identity synthesis, and it's, anyways, yeah.
Is it called the identity trap, or is it the identity synthesis? Because I can't see. Yeah. Okay. The identity trap.
Yeah, the identity. Yeah, that's the book. But like the thing he calls it is the identity synthesis, like the model or whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Cool. Thanks.
Yep.
All right. Bye. Here's this person. I'm Hogu. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Fine, are you?
Yeah, good.
So I guess I have one question about like Biden. I have like a super left-wing friend, and he says Biden's like the worst president ever. He's like pretty biased, and he based that mostly off foreign policy positions of Biden.
Well, like Biden, who basically ended the drone war, or like, and hasn't invaded any other Middle Eastern countries, or launched aggression against Middle Eastern people like fucking Trump and Bush and all those people did, or even Obama. Because Obama did Libya, right?
Yeah, since did Biden do like the least amount of drone strikes compared to like other presidents or anything like that?
Did he do what?
So you say he ended the drone war. Did he like pretty much do like less drone strikes than every other president, or?
Yeah, I'll give you an article about it, but basically the amount of drone strikes under Biden's presidency is like is massively decreased compared to Trump and Obama. Yeah.
Okay.
I can wonder if you find the graphs. Basically. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
There are probably there are more detailed pages that have. I'll put it in YouTube chat as well, but there are more detailed ones that show you different, like the drone strikes in different countries as well. So, yeah. Like this is Trump here, and then way down here, Biden.
Sorry, I'm in a league game, so I'm slightly distracted. So. Yeah, my friend would also cite things like support of Ukraine and stuff. I don't know what he exactly wants the U.S. to do in that situation. Like,
He
but
probably just wants Ukraine to give up territory for peace. That's probably what they want.
yeah,
If they're leftist.
which yeah, and he is pretty much like hyper leftist, textbook hyper leftist. Um, yeah. I guess I can move on to a different question.
Sure.
So when it comes to like support of Palestine and sorry. When it comes to like people who support Palestine and like all the pro-Palestine rallies and stuff, how do I like stop myself from writing them off as like pro-Hamas people? Or because I understand like there's like a pretty big what do you call it? Like a plight of uh the Palestinians, and I know they've been oppressed for like decades or whatnot, although the violence has kind of been on both sides, right?
Um,
Uh,
I'd imagine most of them actually aren't pro Hamas.
mm,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really see it as like picking a side in like national movements and things like that. I just think of it as a human rights issue. Israelis deserve
mhm.
security, Palestinians deserve self determination and refugee rights. That's it. Done. Like, I think you can just I think if you basically analyze all the history from that end, from that starting point, and
Mm.
at no point do any of those three things ever really go away. You know, those have been three just ongoing problems from the very beginning.
Okay, I assume most people who are in these rallies are more there for like human rights reasons than like supporting like a side, like you said, right? Okay.
Sorry.
So I imagine the people who are going to these rallies are more there for like the human rights reasons than like picking a side
I
or
mean, I
anything
don't
like
know.
that.
The people, most people are just there because they see like some headlines or Twitter, and then they go there and they do the chants and then they fuck off. I don't know.
Mm.
Like I don't. It's hard to tell how much people really know or what position they're taking. Maybe, yeah. But at the end of the day, it depends on who you encounter. Just as like one person personally, and then you just
Mhm.
ask a few questions, and you probably tend to know where people are pretty quickly.
Yeah, like my lefty friend, I'm not exactly sure if he's like pro like October 7th, or it seems like people on the very left would like justify it in some sort of way, like
Mhm.
and they'd cite things like, oh, Hamas is more like a freedom fighting group by definition or something, you know,
Yeah,
even if you
well,
don't agree with everything they do.
those people can get freedom fought by some fucking Native Americans if they want. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If it makes them feel better, they can just freedom fight themselves.
Mhm.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't know. Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, that's about it. Yeah. All right,
All
thank
right.
you.
Take care, sir. Bye bye.
Yep. Bye.
Hey, oh. Mohammed. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi.
I just had two questions.
Sure.
Do you think it's safe to say Israel is an apartheid state?
Pretty safe. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I guess. Like. So. Okay. Were you following with that, or did you think I
Oh,
might
like,
argue
would you?
against it?
No, I think it's pretty safe to say as well. I mean,
Yeah.
if you take into account, like, would you say that based on what's happening in the West Bank or in actual Israel proper with the Arab Israelis,
I don't
or like just
think
generally?
if it was just Israel proper and the West Bank and Gaza had freedom, I don't think anyone would be calling it apartheid. They'd be calling it like racism, discrimination, like that kind of shit. Um.
Well, do you think the term apartheid can still work under, because it's not technically all a state? So would what's happening in the West Bank be count as apartheid?
Like the conditions are. So it's like you can, as far as international law and apartheid goes, it doesn't need to be in your own country. It just needs to be that you're doing it with the intent of establishing a state of supremacy in the area, right? And I think especially with Likud, because they have no intention of giving statehood to people in the West Bank, then it is done with the intent of establishing a state of supremacy from the river to the sea. If they were doing it, but their plan is but they're doing it as like but it's all just like security measures, and they're actually trying to get a two-state solution, that probably wouldn't be apartheid. But again, I feel like when people call it apartheid, it's like, that's fine. But then just like the next question is just be, okay, well, what do we do about it? Like, what should be done about the apartheid? Because I imagine people who call it occupation say that because they want to imply a two-state solution and the occupation, pull back from the occupied territories. People who call it apartheid want to say, well, this is effectively one state now. We should just give voting rights like we did in South Africa. And that's probably people wanting a one-state solution. But I don't know. I mean, I say apartheid even though I'm not married to either state solution. So it's like, yeah, just, I guess you would just follow it up, because I'm getting bogged down in the apartheid discussion is just brain cancer.
Yeah. Do you think it's ever realistic, like if a peace deal were to be brokered between like if there was an actual two-state solution, that Israel would pull out completely from the West Bank? Because I don't think that.
No, they would probably keep in, what was it, like they had sensor points, or for security measures, they'll probably keep some installations there. They'll probably have a system where they can respond very quickly to any goings on.
Well, I'm talking about like in an ideal world, like where there is no security issue, like, peace in the Middle East forever.
Yeah.
Like, even then, would they still have like, I mean, would they have any lay to claim on the land? Be like, okay, well, let's just give this back because we don't want to break up this place too much.
I don't know. No, I think they'd have to annex whatever settlements are going to stay, and they'd have to give proportionate land swaps. And ideally, they would remove as many settlers as they could. And yeah, that's because I don't care. I don't care if like 500,000 settlers get scuttled into Israel, and if they cry about it and there's like riots, like, fuck them. Yeah.
What do you think about like the concept of the right of return for like literally everybody in the diaspora, like in all Middle Eastern countries and West Bank and the Gaza Strip?
I don't think there's ever going to be a deal. I think where Israel like puts a cap on it, where if they just say, okay, no more than 100,000, I don't think that's really going to sell. I think what they should do is they should just recognize it. Just be like, we recognize our role in the 48 war and the suffering that we caused and the displacement that we took part in. But then people are going to need to understand that of all the places that a refugee can go, I feel like Israel will probably be the hardest one to go to, right? Like, it'll be easier for them to go to Gaza or the West Bank. It'll be easier for them to get citizenship in whichever country they're in, or get resettled, even fucking Canada, probably before Israel starts letting a bunch of them in. But I don't think it should ever be like a ceiling on it for like an indefinite no, right? Because if you're 20 years down the line, and there are two states, and everyone's fine, and all the Israeli school kids are going to the old villages and learning exactly what happened, and all the Palestinians are learning about the fucking Holocaust and the Jewish Exodus, and everyone kind of likes each other. I don't see why Israel couldn't just like start letting more people back in,
Well, I mean, wouldn't that like threaten their entire concept of an ethno-state? Because if they just let whoever, I mean, I'm not saying that I disagree with it, but if they just allowed whoever to come back completely, like say peace in the Middle East again, and a bunch of Palestinians, all the millions around and their descendants come back to Israel, and they just usurp power because they're the majority now, like wouldn't that?
Yeah, but Israel's not really entitled to an ethno-state, right? They have a strong enough case for a Jewish majority now because of the idea that they could being an ethnic minority could get them all killed or evicted or persecuted, right? But as soon as if that fear is gone, you can't just have an ethno-state because you like them, right? You can't just have an ethno-state for the reason that people want a white one in America, right? It doesn't make sense.
But I mean, Zionism is like, I don't think that the entire creation of Israel is based on like, because the ethno-state came before there was actual threats to the existence of Jews in the Middle East, no? Or in Palestine, at least.
Pretty hard one. I guess it depends. I feel like anti-Semitism was like coming and going in the Middle East for quite a while.
And
what
but I feel like even if like there was peace and like everything was great, I still feel like Israel wouldn't secede on being like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna let Arabs overtake our population. Even then, if everything was like friendly.
Yeah, no, they'd probably just let small numbers back in, and they'd want to keep the demographics kind of like undisturbed, right? Like maybe once it gets to like 30% Arabs, they'd be like, "Ooh, that's not yeah." But that's the thing is like, as far as like any refugee crisis, is like we don't normally expect all the refugees to go back to the exact same spot, right? We expect them to get
No,
resettled in
no,
other
yeah.
places, and we expect other countries to play their role, which frankly the Middle Eastern countries have not done.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I see what you're saying. They probably won't ever let like the Arab population become more than like 30% in our lifetimes, but I don't think they should ever like just draw the hard line either. I think it should just be like there should just be options open for other places.
Yeah. And also one last question: what do you think about like the reaction of Israel after what happened on October 7th? Do you think like they're doing a decent job? Like, what's your opinion on that?
I don't think they're. I'm moving much closer towards that the reaction is not a good one.
Mhm.
Like if because if they finish off in the north with this Al Shifa hospital base, whatever, then it's like, okay, now we're coming for the south. It's like, unless there's some guarantee that someone else from outside, some third party is going to reoccupy and rebuild Gaza, it's just a horrible idea because we've, yeah, what's the plan? Just get rid of Hamas and then what? Like leave
I
or
mean, even in getting rid of Hamas in the way that they're doing it, like I think this is
oh,
a
um,
argument that wouldn't just radicalize a bunch more kids as they have now.
well, I guess the argument is that every kid is already pretty much radicalized, but yeah, it's got
Does the
obviously
polling,
worse.
does the polling like point to that? I feel like the
Um,
polling was pretty like Hamas is on the downtrend now.
yeah, I guess they were, but I'm still a bit more confused about Hamas being on the downturn actually it means that the radicalization as a whole has ended. But in any
Mm.
case, any radicalization that was there is obviously going to get a million times worse. Yeah. Um, but I guess if a population is radicalized, and that's why like but there's a third party in there that they don't really have any massive bad blood with that is there rebuilding. Um, it might, and
Mm.
it's just too hard for another Hamas to take hold. Then that might change things. I don't know. I don't really know how you get around that.
Saudi comes in with their oil money and builds a Singapore there now.
Yeah, that's all. I'm just coping off my fucking gills for something like that because I think that's the only
Saudi will
way.
never do that.
No,
That'll, I
Saudi
mean,
won't
the
do it. The
Saudi
UN
though.
won't do it. Like,
Who would do it? I don't think that's. I've seen like I mean Hamas or Gaza gets a lot of funding. I think I don't know which one it was, but I looked up like Hamas leaders, and one of them had like a net worth of 5 billion. I was
yeah,
like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
more than like Netanyahu, more than multiple Netanyahus, like hundreds of
Yeah.
Netanyahus. Yeah, yeah, it's insane. But yeah, so maybe if like maybe with just all that aid and yeah, maybe with all that aid, was it? Yeah, it says from 2014 to 2020, UN agencies spent nearly 4.5 billion in Gaza. So I think per
4 point
capita,
in
that's
total. So how does he have five? Where is he getting the rest of the money from? What do you think?
well, I guess if you're rich, you get money and you invest it, right? I think that's what he's done. So
5 billion
he
net
steals
worth.
some money, then he invests, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
And obviously he's been there for a while, hasn't he? Hania.
What was his name? Let me look him up. Sorry.
Ismail Hania.
What's Mahmoud Abbas's net worth?
It's just a bit more than Netanyahu's.
How old? When is he gonna die?
He's 88. He just turned 88 not long ago, actually. 15th. His birthday was yesterday. Interesting.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Who do you think is gonna take the reins of the PLO if he dies?
I don't know. I mean, can Barghouti lead them from jail?
Barghouti is. Why did he go to jail? Was he like?
He was blamed
Forget.
for some very nasty terror attacks in the Second Intifada.
Doesn't he still have like a lot of public support?
Yeah, he's got more public support than any leader in Palestine by quite a lot.
Oh.
I think he leads Hania by 20 points or some shit in the last poll I saw.
Maybe he's the Mandela of Palestine. Who knows?
Well, that's what they call him, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have to. I don't know. Israel's never going to negotiate with someone who used to be a terrorist. I don't think. But
That they labeled a terrorist, sure. I mean, wasn't Nelson Mandela a terrorist?
Yeah, but I don't think Nelson Mandela like killed civilians.
Oh, or
himself, did he?
Barghouti? I don't know. I don't know too much about Barghouti.
So
I mean, he was
he
labeled a
never
terrorist
went.
for a reason.
Yeah, he never went to his trial because he said it was like a scam or whatever. But he was accused of like a lot of murder, basically. Yeah, and against
Okay.
civilians. But he's
Someone else then.
he also speaks out against killing civilians now. And honestly, if he becomes the leader, I think Israel should just be like pushed to negotiate with him. Like even if they don't like it, like fuck him, you know. Like it's like people have like Sadat negotiated with Begin, who was a terrorist, right?
Yeah, I mean, in
So-
that instance, would you say that Hamas is able to negotiate still?
No, they're not. Not after October 7th. No way.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, their charter still does that still include the killing of all Jews? As far as I've
Does
gotta check it.
Hamas? What do you mean? Like they're
Yes, yes. I mean, I know the destruction of Israel, but the kill. I mean, you can't like literally kill all people in Israel.
well, would they do it if they could?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm not doing Hamas apology here. I'm gonna go. Thank you.
Nice talking to you. Bye bye.
But
Oh, now there's loads of people in here. Hello, Proxy.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a bit loud. I'll just turn you down though. Hang on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I think about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, somebody asked you why a ground invasion would be more deadly than an area bombing campaign, and I think your answer was something like it's a truism, and you don't really know why, but it's like generally the case. Has that answer been updated since then, or is that your disposition as well?
I don't know.
Nope.
I think it's like so again, I'm just going word of mouth of other people who seem to know more than me, but like
Right.
I think it's that when you do a ground invasion, it implies that you have to airstrike a lot harder to clear the space for it, and that's kind of why just in general like an airstrike because
Yeah.
like a ground invasion, you can either do an airstrike or you can do a ground invasion, which includes airstrike plus more
Exactly.
airstriking.
Yeah.
That's kind of where
It's
I'm
like
getting it from. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the simplest answer to it. It's not just a ground invasion; it's also an airstrike bombing campaign.
Yeah.
So another thing that kind of makes it worse is one particular aspect about airstrikes is that they require a lot of information, a shit ton of intelligence.
Yeah.
And if you do that while you're also engaging in a ground invasion, those targets will also become like way more time sensitive because now you don't have to just worry about them like running away or displacing all of their equipment. You also have to worry about them launching attacks on your own troops now.
Mhm.
So that means that you're gonna have to work with even worse intel because the targets are gonna have to be hit more frequently and earlier. So you can't really wait for like very accurate intelligence, and that means that you're gonna have more civilian casualties. You're gonna have to use usually bigger bombs because if you don't have like great intelligence and you don't actually know the entire layout of whatever target you're hitting, you can't rely on like smaller bombs because you might not actually hit your target or destroy a target because it might actually be more reinforced than you originally thought it would be. So you kind of have to be more on the safe side, and that drives civilian casualties a lot. So that's one aspect where even the aerial bombing campaign will become even more deadly than the standalone bombing campaign. And then also on top of the ground forces will also incur a lot of casualties. Not quite as many, but they'll cause civilian casualties because when you're on the ground in Gaza as a infantryman or as a tanker, you can get a little skittish and you're more prone to make mistakes. Whereas if you're a commander who's sitting back at his fob in Israel and who's just directing artillery strikes at places in Gaza, you're a little more calm, a little more level-headed, so you're way less likely to be rash and make emotional decisions. So that's generally the case with why ground invasions are more deadly than just the previous bombing campaigns. It's not always the case, but that's generally true. And second thing I wanted to talk about was it's actually very relevant to this. So a lot of people, I'm sure you've heard of it. I think the Young Turks have echoed this kind of mantra where they think, or they claim that Israel is doing this wrong and that they should withdraw all the fighters, all the planes, and stop bombing Gaza. And they should just launch like a special forces only kind of invasion into Gaza. Have you heard any
it's
about
like
those claims?
armchair general shit. What the fuck is that going to do?
Exactly. Yeah. Which is
like
kind
just
of
get 20
retarded.
good men in with some rope, and then
Exactly. The kind of thing that war is like 20 John Wicks. You just gotta send in the John Wicks, and they'll just fucking destroy everything.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. I kind of expected coming from people like the Young Turks and others who were civilians, but one that I kind of didn't expect it to come from was Lycan. He didn't exactly say it in the same words, but he kind of made a like a similar claim back when it was a couple days ago with you Destiny Lycan. There was a fourth guy, I can't remember his name, but he didn't say like special forces, he just said ground forces without the air support, which is an interesting claim coming from a veteran who's been to the sandbox. Which is
you're just gonna have a bunch of fucking terrified, fucking jittery soldiers firing like tank shots at everything. Every time there's a shot, just blow up the entire building. Yeah,
you're telling just standalone soldiers to go into urban warfare, which is one of the most dangerous terrains to fight in. To fight an enemy that has prepared for years for them, with a high density of civilians also in the area, and and the force that you're fighting against has de facto control over the area, and you're just telling them to go in, no air support, nothing. I feel like that's not a genuine or like a good faith solution or answer at all.
It's like you got urban warfare plus tunnel warfare. Yeah, it's just
yeah, that's you generally would lead to just massive casualties on your side, and that's just going to end with an enraged Israeli population. And if push comes to shove, it's just going to something is going to break on the Israeli side, and then we're going to go back to an even more aggressive campaign, because now we have a shit ton of Israeli soldiers that we can stand on and say this doesn't work, we need to go harder. And in the end, it's just going to result in even more civilian deaths. I think in general, anyone who's making any sort of claims about the sort of tactics that Israel should deploy in Gaza, that would, they should totally just do this strategy instead, that would ensure that that no civilians would die and that they would completely destroy Hamas or something like that. I think you can generally just ignore any kinds of suggestions like that, because that's not really how it works. And it's kind of like the financial content creators who say they have the secret ingredients to making like millions in a very short amount of time, but none of them seem to be doing it. I feel like it's the same here. Like if there was a top solution or the best solution, the Israeli generals, who probably have a lot of intelligence that most people don't have and a lot of education that most people don't have, they're probably a bit closer to finding it than just random YouTuber times 5 or number 5, or a random civilian speaker at the Young Turks or Hassan or something like that. I think that's generally how it goes. Because I think that's
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's about it. Have a nice night, man.
All right, nice talking to you. Bye-bye.
Night, peace.
Mbrex14, hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so I was just I saw the video of you, Destiny, and I hope I'm saying his name right,
Quibbles.
Quibbles. Talking about, I guess, just like in general, the Israeli-Palestine conflict. And I saw Destiny was like kind of like talking about why a two-state solution needed to come from the Palestinian or initiative needed to come from the Palestinians.
Mhm.
And his reasoning, and maybe you can kind of like correct me if I'm wrong, or it just seemed kind of non-nuanced, which was, well, the Palestinians just seem to like to fight, and so they need to get over wanting to fight. And I guess I have a Palestinian coworker, and I've talked with her a bit about things like the Camp David Accords, and kind of been like, "Hey, like this seemed like a pretty good deal. What was kind of the issue, or where do you
Mhm.
see it?" And obviously, as a Palestinian, she's gonna have a pretty biased perspective, but um, a big thing seems to be like the Palestinians, or at least from her perspective, like are very terrified of Israelis trying to ethnically cleanse them. So I don't know if it's valid to say that Palestinians just sort of want to fight so much as they feel like any type of negotiation or any type of agreement that comes with things like control of water supply or a demilitarization
Yeah.
is going to lead to them getting wiped off, right? It's kind of like, yeah, okay, you give me this deal now and it sounds nice, but what happens in 5 years when like you just wipe me off the face of the planet and the anti-Semitic UN passes a resolution, right? So,
Hmm.
I don't know. Do you think that's like a fair assessment of the Palestinian situation, or is that kind of more?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's also because I imagine if Palestinians don't fight now, then a bunch of fucking gun-ho settlers are going to be emboldened to push further into the West Bank, right? And they're going to,
Exactly,
they're like
exactly.
settlers are not going to stop harassing Palestinians if they're being non-violent. And yeah, maybe after a year of that, of videos against non-violent, defenseless Palestinians being beaten up by settlers, eventually the world will change their minds. But this is just like, just not how human beings work. It's just never going to happen. I think the part that Palestinians probably do need to change is that, well, it's their leadership, right? Abbas needs to realize that he is shit, and he needs to um, hold some kind of process to find a successor that's popular. And whoever that successor is, Israel needs to negotiate with them. So there's
Yeah.
there's not another October 7th. That's in everyone's interest right now. So I can see it from that end, but yeah, I'm sorry. Palestinians are going to be violent until the occupation ends. That's not going to stop.
Yeah.
Even
Do you
if
think?
they're negotiating a final, even if on the last day of signing all the papers, there'll still be violence somewhere in the West Bank. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. I guess I'm just kind of curious because, like, I don't know. I like Destiny most of the time. But I see this coming from him and then also from a lot of people who tend to be more nuanced about the situation. Is it just, and this is coming from an American who grew up during 9/11 and the whole war on terror, is it just like Americans just really have a problem with Arabs and anything that's Muslim related? Or it just seems like a weird take to just kind of be like, oh, Palestinians are just violent, right? Like,
Mm,
we don't really have this conversation with like other groups, but I don't know. Maybe I obviously I go from a perspective that's like I have Palestinian friends, so I tend to have a different viewpoint on them.
I mean, there absolutely is within the political movements in Palestine, like this idea of like that they need to that if they're going to fight, if they're going to get rid of the occupation, it's going to be that they fought their way out of it. That does kind of exist. That's why like, more than half of them feel like armed resistance is the way out. You know, um, so it's but that's because they feel like nothing else has worked. They feel like they've tried everything. So
No, that's
it's
fair.
just whether or not that violence gets harnessed into a way that can actually be productive and isn't going to just build another 20 years of resentment.
No, I mean, no, that's fair. I guess I'm just like, I don't know. I'm getting kind of doomer pilled about the whole thing just because it just seems like people who normally aren't crazy about it get super crazy about it. But at the same time, I mean, like, it's Israel Palestine. It's the one of the most violent conflicts and complex conflicts that's existed in the modern era. So
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I just wanted to basically say, like, is that a crazy take or, you know, but it seems pretty unfair. Also, nice haircut, but I'll hop
Whoa,
off.
thanks. All right. Bye bye. I'll maybe take a minute before I bring people back in. Woo. I have token Lebanese. Okay. With what, me? Hmm. I don't know. I'm supposed to be watching this fucking Owen Jones video, am I? They're only 15 minutes long. Huh.
Remember the Holodomor?
End of the beginning. Thanks very much for the sub. Damn, the Twitch viewers are still going strong. Do you like Owen Jones? I used to. I don't really know what he's like these days, but we'll find out.
Socialist commentator Owen Jones. Owen, you're sitting there patiently. Your response to Mark Regev there?
A grotesque inversion of reality. I mean, the thing about Israeli spokesperson like that is if I was told the sky was blue, I'd go out the window and check just to be sure.
What did he say that's wrong?
For one thing, talking about the hospital being used as a terror base. Now, let's just bear in mind that Israel's spokespeople have a long track record of lying through the back teeth. When they shot in the head, for example, Shireen Abu Akleh, they said for months and months and months it was Palestinian gunmen. It wasn't. They shot her in the head. James Miller, a brilliant British documentary filmmaker, shot dead 2002 by the Israelis. Years later, of course, after they denied
you
it.
wouldn't believe Hamas and their version of events either, would you?
Well, that's why I depend on what aid agencies the United Nations are saying on the ground, which is that collective punishment is being unleashed against the Palestinian people. I mean,
have the United Nations said there's not a military base under the hospital? They said there's no evidence, or what?
Look, we can see already the evidence they've been unveiling for what they said was a terror hub, including showing
Remember the
CDs and a
Holodomor?
computer. What they've done to that hospital is...
Bro. There's no Neandra Falls. Thanks for the sub. I don't think Owen Jones has gone down this fucking like propagandist route, has he? He knows they didn't just find CDs in a computer. Why didn't he mention the weapons? What? Like, just say. You can say they just found. Oh, it was only a few AKs. It wasn't that many.
It's firstly because they cut off energy in a total siege, which they justified by saying they were fighting human animals, which should be considered genocidal rhetoric, has been condemned as such.
Well, it should certainly be condemned, and they should not have the ability, Israel, to cut off water and power and
because
fuel.
That is collective punishment. Can we agree? Under Article 33, that's against the law. It's a war crime. Can we agree? I think we should have some consensus.
I would argue you're heading towards collective punishment when you do that.
You're not heading towards collective punishment when you cut off energy and water to the entire civilian population.
Except to play devil's advocate and to give their side of it, which I've heard repeatedly, take the issue of fuel. They want to try and get fuel in, the Israelis, as they've said, to the hospitals, to the humanitarian side of this, but they know that Hamas are taking that fuel and using it for their military.
The hospital authorities, who we should listen to, have rebutted those accusations. Look, what's happened here is babies right now are gasping for breath and suffocating. We've had several nurses and patients shot dead. In fact, this whole hospital has been described by medical staff as a mortuary.
But you don't know.
Just quickly, when a hospital becomes a mass grave, when dozens of decomposing bodies have to be buried in a mass grave in a hospital, we're talking what you said. Can I just quote something you said about Putin? And I think this was very wise. You said in March 2022, I'm seeing a genocidal monster killing women and babies in maternity hospitals as we sit back and let him do it. Why was it so disgraceful? But you were right. You were right to be emotional.
Here's the difference.
Why when you see this hospital...
Is he really going to equate Putin to... I don't know. Fuck. The thing is that we know that the Ukrainians held... A bunch of them took shelter in a theater in Mariupol. They put signs outside saying there are kids here that you could see from the sky, and Russia direct struck it. Not an errant rocket, no conjecture, no fucking accident. They direct struck it, and a bunch of people died. It's like, how many people died in that theater? I don't know, comparing Putin to Israel's like military practice, like is like with the fucking Bucha massacre and shit. It's just so stupid. I think the death toll for the theater strike was 600. So according to Associated Press. What do other people say? Mariupol City Council, Washington Post, Associated Press, pointed to 600. How many people died in the Bucha massacre? And this is just after you've taken over the place and you're just killing civilians in the street. 419. I don't know. It's just, it's these like, I don't know.
Hospital, is they're not the same fury?
Let me explain. Because the two are, in my opinion, morally very different. In one case, Vladimir Putin's illegal invasion of Ukraine, he was committing war crimes, having illegally invaded wait a second, let me finish. Having invaded a sovereign democratic country. Here, it was Israel that was invaded by a vast number of terrorists who murdered over 1,500 innocent men, women, children. They kidnapped 240 people, including babies, children, Holocaust survivors. So my point is, morally, there is a massive difference.
Hold on.
Morally, it's a massive difference. Now, the question of the hospital, wait a sec. The question of the hospitals is this to me.
It was, I don't think even Russia, there was never any evidence that, well, I guess, did Russia say that Russia would blow up a civilian building and say that Ukraine did it? I don't think they said that Ukraine was using schools and hospitals and fucking the theater as a military base, did they? They said Ukraine did it. That was their argument for everything.
They have so far produced some evidence of Hamas operating inside the hospital. For me, so far, as a journalist trying to be fair and impartial, I don't think, as you've heard me say to Mark Regev, I don't think I've seen enough evidence here, which says to me this was a sprawling Hamas command centre. But there is a moral difference between what Putin's doing in Ukraine and what Israel's doing to defend itself against Hamas, isn't there?
Hold on.
Isn't there?
No, absolutely. No, sorry, this is the difference, okay, if you want to talk about that or trying to separate them. For a Ukrainian ordinary civilian being killed, or for an ordinary Palestinian child being killed,
both equally awful.
None of them did anything wrong.
No.
We agree on that, don't
Yes,
we?
we do.
We absolutely agree on that.
Yes, we do.
Now, when you repeatedly denounced Putin for his genocidal behaviour in Ukraine, do you stand by that? Do you think that's a genocide?
Absolutely.
Well, it doesn't matter what the basis for what the operation...
Of course it does.
No,
it does.
No.
It completely. If you're talking about genocide, of course it matters. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh well.
Yes. In terms of what
Piers can't defend himself. Pierce is too dumb to handle these. This. Piers is too fucking stupid to handle this debate. Fucking drug dealership.
actually is happening. We can talk. What about the massacre?
Drug trafficking.
The obscene massacre of 1,000
What Israel's doing is not genocide.
Pierce.
You can't keep saying no.
Let's
Like
talk about genocide. Let's talk about genocide.
Yeah.
Why is it?
Let me tell you the difference between genocide. Let me put something to you, and you come back at me and tell me if I'm wrong. Hamas, from its charter onwards, and from the spokesman said last week, is dedicated to the eradication of Israel and killing as many Jews as it can possibly kill. That is the purest definition of genocide intent that you will ever see. And they executed it on October the 7th as best they could. Now, what Israel's doing in response, and they've been very firm about this, and the international courts will rule as they...
These are very long questions.
They're not. I'm answering a point, and I'm putting one to you, right? In my estimation, they are qualitatively different. What Hamas is...
Can I answer?
Publicly, what it's doing is genocide. What Israel's doing is not genocide.
There's a difference between what Israel, you could say both Israel and Hamas have engaged in genocidal and murderous rhetoric.
No.
And I'll give you an example.
No,
yes,
no,
they have.
no, you can't.
Benjamin Netanyahu.
No,
I can. Is it uncensored or not?
Yes. You can say
Let me quote what the Israeli authorities have said.
Go on.
Benjamin Netanyahu, when he quoted Amalek, the scriptures, what does Amalek say? He quotes Amalek when they attacked the Israelites. And what God told the Israelites to do was to destroy kill every man, woman, child, and livestock. If, I would put it to you, an Islamist leader was quoting a similarly genocidal passage from the Quran, you would not, I would say,
Can I respond?
hesitate.
Can I respond?
Yeah, the Amalek thing was fucking insane. I don't know what... I guess if you're Pierce, you would want to say that, like, more often than not, the IDF, who are the ones doing the operation, will say we're not at war with Palestinians, we're at war with Hamas. But like that's probably it coming from them is a bit more important than what a fucking deranged like Twitter account says, or like the prime minister, but still, fucking hell, Netanyahu is disgusting. What an absolute fucking gross monster of a human being. Ugh.
You haven't just no, but you've had a lot.
Respond to that
I'm going
point.
to respond just quickly. Israeli officials said that Gaza will end up being a city of tents with no building standing. That they are attacking for damage, not for accuracy. The agricultural minister Avi Dikti, he said we are rolling out a new Nakba. A Nakba is the mass expulsion 700,000 Palestinians in 1948. This is why hundreds of genocide scholars, people who are actually, unlike you and I, experts in the field of genocide studies, fear that a genocide is taking place. So the difference between Israel and Hamas is Hamas does not have the capacity to wipe out Israel. Israel is wiping Gaza off the map. That's the point.
But you've actually exposed the weakness in your argument. Israel does have the ability to kill everyone in Gaza tomorrow, and they're not doing it. In fact, well, hang on. What they're doing, and it's indisputable, they are issuing a number of warnings repeatedly to people to go south. Wait! And stay out of northern Gaza, right? And then they're pulverizing it with airstrikes, and now they've gone in on the ground and they're waging battle with Hamas fighters, terrorists, right? No, hang on. So my point is this. Israel could, if they wanted to, kill everyone in Gaza. They decided not to do that.
Is your definition,
so they're not, genocide is where you want to kill everyone.
Sorry. Your definition of genocide, because in Ukraine, Vladimir Putin hasn't killed every last Ukrainian. That's simply not happened. No, he hasn't. And nor has he stated his intention to do so, and nor as brutal and barbaric.
Vladimir Putin, absolutely, by illegally invading a sovereign country and indiscriminately bombing anything in front of him.
Indiscriminately bombing?
Is waging a form of genocide.
Wow. Indiscriminate bombing. Gaza. More than 2 Hiroshima bombs worth have been dropped on East London in the space of 5 weeks.
Okay, let me ask you two questions.
No, you said Ukraine. No,
What the fuck is that stat? More than 2 Hiroshima bombs worth on London in 5 weeks. What does that mean? East London. What? Okay.
I have to put this to you.
Okay.
15,000 people have now been killed now by the Israelis, estimate, in Gaza. 1 in every 200 people in Gaza have now been killed. If you were to adjust for population in Ukraine, that would be 300,000 Ukrainian civilians. 300,000, there's been a terrible death toll. It's estimated by the UN, 10,000 civilians.
Area as big as East London. Okay. The Hiroshima's worth, though. Okay, whatever. So it's like they've narrowed down the size of the Hiroshima bombings as if it were in the space of Gaza. Like, okay.
Civilians have been killed since February last year. In the space of 5 weeks, a country with a much, much smaller population has had a much higher has had a death toll higher officially than that in Ukraine. So how can it be?
I'm going to answer.
How can it be that you call that genocide, but when you have nearly half the entire civilian death toll of the Bosnian War in a country which is twice the size in terms of population? Why isn't that genocide?
I'm Hogu, thanks for the sub.
Answered your question by saying if Israel wanted to commit genocide, they would simply
So would Russia.
They would vaporize.
So would Russia. They would nuke Ukraine.
Russia wants to take over Ukraine.
Yes, and they want to take over Gaza.
You can just say I haven't accused Putin of genocide, but I guess Piers Morgan has.
Will kill any number of Ukrainians, men, women, and children in that process.
The death rate.
That is able to.
Death rate in Gaza is much higher.
The only reason it hasn't is that actually Ukraine has a large military supported by countries like the United States and is putting up one hell of a fight.
Russia has nuclear weapons.
Okay. And by the way, Ukraine gave theirs up.
Russia has an armed force.
Let me ask you.
What? No, you've got to accept this.
Hang on. No.
A far lower death rate in Ukraine.
I've explained why.
I've
explained why.
You haven't explained why.
Yes, I have. Well, let me explain
Israel
again.
have made it clear.
You didn't hear me.
Israel have made it clear that they intend to occupy Gaza permanently.
Yeah, which they should not be allowed to do.
And what did
we can agree on that.
What did the Israeli ministry leaked intelligence? What did the intelligence ministry
it's my interview of you.
I know, but
not your interview of me.
Well, I think you do need to be held to account on
answer you. Let me answer you. Well, let me ask you 2 questions, which I asked Jeremy Corbyn.
Sure.
Let's get these off the table. Do you believe Hamas is a terror group?
Yes, if you engage in violence against civilian population, that's terrorism.
Okay. Wait, don't do supplementaries. Let me just ask you this. Second question, which I asked him and she couldn't answer. Should Hamas remain in power?
If I could wave a magic wand, then no. Obviously, there'd be an independent. No, let me finish.
Okay.
There'd be an independent Palestine, free of Israeli rule, with a secular democratic movement in power. The difference.
I agree with you.
When you courageously stood against the Iraq War, and you were courageous for doing so. So what was the argument put against you? That you wanted to keep Saddam Hussein in power even though he gassed his own people, the Kurds, and committed genocide, many would argue, that he had invaded his neighbour, and that he had massacred the Shia when they rose up in 1991. Now, your argument against that was that what could happen next would be far, far worse. And you were
Actually,
right.
that wasn't my argument.
Well, that is the argument. So did you want to keep Saddam Hussein in power?
Don't tell me what my argument was. I know what it was. I was editor of the paper that waged the campaign.
Did you want Saddam Hussein to remain in power?
I did not believe that they had produced any evidence that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. I thought he had nothing to do with 9/11. Therefore, we were waging a completely irrelevant war, which I thought would stir up absolute hell in the Middle East. And you know what? I was right.
Yeah.
And actually, most of the architects of that war now concede they were wrong.
Yeah, they were.
It was a horror story from start to finish. But what it did do is spark the rise of ISIS. And what the world did with ISIS was say, this crosses a moral line. We have to get rid of them. And we went after ISIS in places like Iraq and Syria and other countries. And in bombing the hell out of ISIS, a lot of civilians got killed.
You just skipped a lot of very important history.
Wait a minute.
No, that's not what happened.
Well, that is what happened.
No, that's not what happened.
One of the consequences of the Iraq war was that ISIS became a very powerful, for a short period of time, global terror force committing atrocity.
Can I just correct your version of history?
But in wiping out ISIS, pretty effective.
What's Owen Jones going to add in there? I feel like that's a pretty left-wing talking point, isn't it? Say that the Iraq war played a big part in the rise of ISIS. Or is he going to talk about bombing Syria and how that helped to bring ISIS as well?
We also killed a lot of civilians.
No, what actually happened?
What's the moral difference between that and what Israel's doing in Gaza?
You just revised history. We were told that Al-Qaeda was perhaps in league with Saddam Hussein. That was one of the justifications of invading. What actually happened after the invasion was that it became a playground for Al-Qaeda, who you've missed out, I've noticed.
No.
And what happened?
We know about Al-Qaeda. I'm talking about ISIS.
What happened, for example, is Fallujah, the city of Fallujah in Iraq. The Americans went in and they massacred people protesting against their rule, and many of those Sunni populations ended up driven into the arms of Al-Qaeda. A brutal counterinsurgency program then resulting in mass slaughter of innocent Sunni civilians, and from that fury and anger, something even worse than Al-Qaeda emerged. Just as
ISIS.
Yes.
So you agree
and
with
that was I'm saying that's exactly what we're seeing today.
So he's just adding in some. It's the whole thing. I disagree, but here you're actually right. I'm just going to add in two things. It's so, bro. Why is everyone going fucking crazy right now? I feel like everyone's just so unhinged. Everyone's just become. Piers was doing this to Jeremy Corbyn as well, right? No, you're wrong. I'm just going to expand on what you said. Yeah, it's like, why is everyone? Piers Morgan did it. Owen Jones is doing it to Piers Morgan. The fucking Hassan and the Willie Mack conversation. You view this as entertainment, it's meant to mock and pick sides over. I don't know if you know his CG, but this is not like a good faith conversation that's taking place here. This is just people like doing their best to fucking propagandize in their like 15 or 30 minute slot and then fucking off. Like Piers is doing it, Owen Jones is doing it. Ugh. Just so much fucking debate sheep shagging going on here, like
detail of the journey.
No.
Out of the
You've
Iran
misunderstood. You've misunderstood.
Right.
They engaged in a brutal counterinsurgency.
No, I know the story.
Offensive against Al Qaeda, and that caused something worse to emerge. Just as in Afghanistan.
I know.
Just as Afghanistan, we had 2 decades of occupation.
Listen, we're running out of
2
time.
decades of occupation, and the Taliban emerged stronger than ever. The same applies to both what happened in Iraq and Afghanistan.
It seems to me...
Because if you brutalise a population,
stop talking, Owen.
you will turn them into terrorists.
Stop talking.
Or extremists.
Listen,
drive them to their arms.
You make a lot of good points. I agree with a lot of things you say, right? Always have done, actually. I find the way you say them, as you do with me, quite annoying. But that's fine. You're allowed to, and we're uncensored. Come back. I want to end, if I can, with some kind of... Look, we've agreed Hamas is a terror group. We've agreed they have to go. How do we actually get peace here?
Well, firstly, we have to deal with the underlying causes of what's driven the Palestinian people in the case of Gaza into the hands of Hamas, which is, starting in 1948, the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian population in the Nakba, with 700,000 driven from their homes, murderously, I might add. Then
and hundreds of thousands of Jews were driven from their homes before
not
that.
in Palestine.
Well, they were driven away from Arab countries.
Hold on.
They were driven away from Arab countries.
Yeah, from Palestine.
Jonathan Friedland wrote a very good piece about this, saying, you know what, if you go into history, there's just cause on both sides.
The Palestinians were driven from their homes, 700,000.
I think Piers is probably wrong there. The Jews left the Arab countries after 48, mostly. Like 800,000 of them, yeah.
And then we had the illegal settlements and colonization, including in the West Bank, were completely unremarked upon.
And I've already condemned
there was
the
mass terror,
settlements are wrong.
illegal settlements, and as well as Amnesty International, as Human Rights Watch and B'Tselem describe it, the Israeli Human Rights Organization, a
Apartheid.
system of apartheid. But if you keep brutalizing the Palestinian people, ridding them of their freedom, and you end up now in Gaza with parents picking up the burned, dismembered remnants of their children,
Owen,
there will never be peace.
I agree. What I would say to that is that on the Arab side, they have had multiple opportunities to do a peace deal, not least in 2000 with Arafat, and he walked away.
No, what happened there? Go on. What were the concessions?
Well,
because
the
this
truth
is shrouded in
the
myth.
truth is Bill Clinton, who helped wait a minute, who helped forge peace in Northern Ireland brilliantly with Tony Blair and with the others involved there. That actually Arafat, they had peace in their grasp, and as Bill Clinton said to him, I'm going to end up being a failure because of you.
No, that's and that revision of history again, not just from you on this program, but by Bill Clinton, because they demanded, for example, 9 land swaps for a ratio 9 to 1 in favour of Israel.
Come back again.
I'd love to.
No, seriously, this conflict's not going away.
No, sadly
it's going to continue raging the war. I think.
Pierce, if Pierce was going to be a proper, I'm running out of these. If he's going to be a proper debate rabbit fucker, he could have said, oh, well, why didn't Arafat make a counteroffer? Oh.
You're an important voice in this. We should keep talking about it.
Okay, we'll chat.
Good to see you.
See ya.
Pierce ran. I think Pierce definitely lost that debate, to be fair. Owen definitely got a lot more fucking jabs in there. I think maybe Owen saw the way Pierce was treating Corbyn and felt like he had to give it back. He had to match the debate pervertry of Pierce. Weirdly kind of respect Pierce for this. Damn, he's fucking guzzling the content. Or he's jizzing it, that's what he's doing, and we're guzzling the content. Wow. He's bringing all kind. I need to watch the longer form one with him and that Bassem Youssef guy, because apparently that was actually quite a good conversation. I feel like that guy's actually quite clever, the Youssef guy. I hear there's about to be the most toxic debate in history. Rabbi Shmuley and Mohammed Hijab. Oh god, those guys are so stupid. You guys are so chronically online and so numb. Fuck off. Come debate me, cuck. Loser. Debate me. Go on. You got something to say? You're so above it with your grass touching fucking ways? Get in. Get in, debate pillager. Is it this person? Are they here? Are they coming? Someone just joined whose name begins with a C. No, but that's from earlier. Fuck. Let me get in the Discord. It's just discord.gg/learnerbox. I would if I could. What do I need to do? That's it. Go there. Saw the proxy convo. I have to. Oh, sorry. Fuck. Why am I? Jesus Christ. Why do I stop reading fucking DMs? Holy shit, Learnerbox. Okay. I got my brain confused at first. All right. Who are we talking to? Who's this? I don't know. Hello? I don't think this is the person, but it's someone else who I don't know, who I haven't spoken to before. Hello? I feel like this person's just staying muted, apparently. Oh no. Oh no. Thought it would be serious when discussing war and death. I don't know if you... Ugh, God. Feel like we're serious most of the time, but yeah. How long did the Srebrenica massacre take? Like 10, 20 days? 20 days. Too long. I don't think this guy's talking. They left. Okay. Laugh at funny things, be serious about serious things. I mean, personally, just laughing some every now and then at a situation you're completely hopeless about just helps me cope better. I don't know. I mean, I can go and dig out the clip where I had to fucking literally get off stream and cry for 5 minutes at the beginning of the war, if that makes you feel a bit better about the end of the day. Not one person in Gaza gives a fuck about whether or not I am laughing at debate content over the conflict or not. So that they have more to worry about than it's really just you. What's your biggest disagreement with Destiny on the Israel conflict? I don't know. I feel like there's maybe like a general attitude that he has towards. I pushed back on this when I was talking to him when he said that like Palestinians need to just change and like become more peaceful and shit like that, and that would be better for them. But it's like, I don't know. It's just not a very useful suggestion, I don't think. And I think I maybe don't like the way that he was so quick to call the conditions of refugees in Lebanon like actual apartheid, but there's so much more hesitation to call it apartheid when it was the West Bank. Because if you're going to be tight with the definition of apartheid, then neither of them are. Policy-wise, I don't know. Lebanon would be much closer to apartheid. I mean, I know you think that because you're like a fucking sympathizer, or like because you have very strong Israel sympathies, but it's just not. Like it's just not. Yeah, it's just not. Because it's about the intent. And Lebanon is not making Palestinians indefinite refugees with the intent of establishing a state of supremacy over them. Jobs are, yeah, again, the conditions are pretty fucking horrible, but it's not. But honestly, as if we're against buzzwords, we have to be against them in both directions, you know? Who's this person? AKC, hello. How's it going?
Hello?
Hey.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
I have a correction.
Okay.
You said Destiny said the Palestinians don't have the right to defend, right?
No.
Like they
I
should
think he
chill out.
said I think he said I think he said something like the first move needs to come from them, from like chilling out. Is that not true?
Yeah, but he was talking about civilian killings,
Okay.
not the settlements, I think.
Like what? Palestinians need to stop killing civilians? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think that's like the first big change that needs to happen, because you're never going to stop every Palestinian from wanting to kill civilians. It only takes one. So that just means if that's what needs to stop first, then the conflict lasts forever.
Yeah, but the Palestinians can disavow whoever committing the crime, no?
Yeah, and if they're going to get a new leadership, that's probably going to have to come from some pressure on the PA from the United States. That's what I would imagine, because I don't think Abbas is going to. It doesn't look like he has any intention of trying to choose a successor on his own, or trying to even allow for some democratic input.
Yeah, but isn't that what he said? Like they should change their approach and be more.
Well, I don't know though, because
non-violent.
Abbas's approach for a long time was like non-violence, right? And Israel didn't negotiate shit with him. So
Yeah, but Abbas is only one part of the equation, right?
well, like instead of, you mean Hamas? Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not Hamas. Whoever is in replacing or would replace as the Gazan Authority.
Mm-hmm.
So that solution makes sense to me, but I don't know exactly what your disagreement is with the Destiny in that case. And even in that conversation, he said the Palestinians in West Bank have the right to defend themselves against settlers.
So my disagreement was that. No, but I don't mean just that. I mean, like, my disagreement was that the let me try and think about this. I don't think you can say it's just going to be a first move from Palestinian leadership, because at the end of the day, Israel, with its right-wing government, has not signaled any intent to negotiate with a partner that wouldn't be that, like, even if they were peaceful and offering something positive for the future. I think the first thing that needs to happen is that Israel's government needs to go, because Palestinians are not going to have any incentive to choose a leader who's up for negotiating, like, whilst Netanyahu's there, or while some crazy right-wingers are there.
Yeah, but the radicalization is like a feedback process, right? I mean, if the Palestinians are killing Israeli civilians and the other way around, both populations are not going to settle for a peace-loving government.
It doesn't need to be peace-loving, just because
to...
even some of the old right-wingers, like even Ehud Olmert, is pro-negotiations, and what the last stuff that he said, and even like some centrists in Israel are like that. And I think the fact that this actually happened under the most far-right government ever that they've had in Israel, then yeah, at the end of the day, Israelis can change government a lot easier than Palestinians can. Like, they've got the power to make that move. And they just,
so your suggestion,
sorry, and whoever that leader is, they just need to be the one to say, we want to negotiate to go forward with a reasonable partner in the West Bank, and this can never happen again. And they need to be serious about that. Maybe the United States has to pressure them to come forward with that, but I don't think.
No, but what you just said, you're putting the responsibility on Israeli civilians, Israeli citizens to elect a different government. It has nothing to do with the United States.
Yeah, no? I get, well, or if they elect they're going to elect a new government now anyway. And if they elect a government who isn't serious about negotiations, then they'll have to be the United States after that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what are the prospects of them electing a left-wing or center-left government after
Doesn't
October
need to be
7th.
left wing or center left. It can be a centrist. It can be there are some right wingers who have realized now that this approach has not worked and that they need to reopen
Yes,
negotiations.
sure, but I'm
PA.
saying, what are the probability that less people have been radicalized after October 7th from the Israeli side?
I don't know if it's about being more radicalized though, because what candidate is more far right than Netanyahu that's going to build up popular support?
No, he is by far the far right. I'm saying that the push towards a moderate government is not going to happen if the violence continues, right?
We don't know. They elected Rabin right after, like, through the second Intifada. The first Intifada, sorry, not the second one. God damn it. I don't think that so far. I think the polling has gone away from Netanyahu and more towards was it Bennett or Gantz? But
yeah, but that polling is slightly misleading in the sense that we don't know the exact reasons why the Israelis are have a bad view of the current government. Either they in their eyes it could be that they failed to prevent the October 7th attack, or it could be that they just hate the the move towards this authoritarian.
I mean, I don't think Israelis are. I don't think Israelis are stupid, right? They're probably radicalized right now in the sense that they want Hamas gone. But assuming they get rid of Hamas, Israelis know that settlement violence was part of what allowed Hamas to get away to do this, right? They know that the IDF was stretched too thin. They know that far right policies to do with the Supreme Court were part of what allowed this to happen. So, no, I don't actually think it would be that surprising if they moved further left than Netanyahu after this. It seemed to be that this is a poll from Times of Israel, 20th of October, 2023. It seemed like it was Benny Gantz, so was taking most of the support away from Netanyahu. But I think between now and them getting rid of Hamas, who knows? But
if they get rid of Hamas, that is.
Yeah, if they do, yeah, because they're not. Yeah, I agree. They're not going to vote for if Hamas stays. They're not going to vote anyone in who's like more left wing. No.
Okay. I have another one if you have time.
Sure.
For me, the apartheid status of Palestinians in Lebanon, Jordan. Would you say a military occupation is worse than an apartheid condition?
Generally, yeah. That's why I tend to call it occupation more so than apartheid. But I don't think the apartheid thing is so inaccurate as that I need to push back against it so wildly because.
Okay, yeah. So we agree there. But then wouldn't you say what's happening in Lebanon and Jordan is apartheid?
I'm less inclined to do so because it doesn't have that intent to establish a state of Lebanese or Jordanian supremacy over Palestinians. Whereas it seems to be the case, especially with the nation state law, that there is a level of intent to establish a state of Jewish supremacy from the river to the sea, especially if it's a party that doesn't want to give it up.
The supremacy doesn't have to come in theory. It can just be reflected in practice, right?
No, intent matters. So if it's the outcome is supremacy, which that absolutely is, but it's the outcome in Lebanon is like a state of supremacy, but it's with the intent of keeping the Palestinian struggle alive to use as a bludgeon against Israel. That's a bit different.
No, okay, the Palestinian struggle alive, it could just be that they want the Palestinians to go back to their homeland. They don't want the Palestinians to settle in Lebanon and Jordan. That could also be a reason.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't see that as wanting to establish like Lebanese supremacy or Jordanian supremacy.
But in practice, it's the same effect, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing is like in practice,
you don't want the Palestinians to have a state.
Yeah, but people get massacred in the middle of like an ethnic cleansing. That doesn't mean it's like genocide though, because the intent has to be there for it to go from one to the other. Again, like, it's this kind of thing I also wouldn't split hairs over, but I just feel like if someone's so quick to call it apartheid in Lebanon, but is hesitant over calling it in Israel, I understand that.
No,
I feel like if
but
you
in
couldn't call it,
in Israel, he called it a military occupation. But that's I think he called it something worse than.
yeah, I know, but again, his like if we're
apartheid.
talking about Destiny, his reason for not calling it apartheid in Israel isn't because he disagrees with anything descriptive about it. It's because he sees apartheid as a foot in the door for one state solution. That's why he disagrees. I don't think he disagrees with it descriptively. So his disagreement comes from like more just using it rhetorically. That's the thing I get. That's the impression I got from speaking to him. Unless you get something different.
So you wouldn't say the Palestinians in Israel currently, they're not well. At least they're discouraged to join the military, and there are some other things too. You wouldn't call that. You would just call that discrimination instead of being subjugated to an apartheid condition.
With it, probably not enough to call it that. I'd have to look in. If like, I would imagine if it was just that situation, if the West Bank and Gaza were not a factor, I don't think anyone would be trying to call it apartheid.
No, I'm talking about the Arabs. I mean,
yeah, I know. I'm talking about the Arabs living in Israel. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and I think the problem is like part of your mandatory IDF service is that you also get lots of benefit when it comes to buying housing and different privileges after that as well. So it is a pretty. And also when it comes to planning permissions and building permissions and stuff like that, like you're quite discriminated against if you're Arab because of they want to keep certain neighborhoods like a certain demographic level because of ethnic reasons, like ethnic tensions. So yeah, I guess some of it's like it's more than just systemic discrimination, but I feel like I don't know if it would cross the threshold for the crime of apartheid. But again, the crime of apartheid doesn't have that much precedent to it. It's not really a law that's been practiced that much.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the last part, but okay, I think I'd largely agree. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, you take care. All right.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
That guy was a debater. That was whoa. Like a fucking debate kidney failure there. Whoa. All right. Who's this guy? That's better though. That's better than people coming on to Glaze. Hello.
Oh, hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Oh, shit, I forgot what I wanted to ask you. Something
Shit.
about what constitutes apartheid.
Oh no,
So-
no more apartheid. I don't fuck. No. Anything else?
Nope, not really.
Okay.
I just joined the server, so I'm still figuring out how Discord works. I'm kind of a noob here.
You just pick a channel and speak shit in it, okay?
Oh, okay.
Did
that
you pick your
works.
pronouns?
Yeah, I'm over in the pronouns section of like, does it like show up whenever I chat or something? Like,
No, it's just so that people can click your name if they need to know what pronouns to use for you. Because if you
Okay,
click
got
me,
it.
if you click me, you can see my pronouns, right? And all the other roles I
Okay.
have. I got loads of
I
roles.
clicked okay, I clicked the little wizard guy.
Yeah.
So
That's
perfect.
All right.
Awesome. I'll be around. Peace out.
All right. Take care. All right.
Bye.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going. One sec. My audio's coming out the wrong side. I'm gonna drop it in the waiting room while I figure out my audio problem. Thanks.
Okay. JP, hello. This is a new Discord user. Whoa, what the fuck? Hello?
Too loud?
No, it was just my echo, I think.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I was just I was watching on stream and so I heard my own voice and then yada yada. How's it going?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I was curious. obviously, I don't think I've heard you wheel out this argument, but I heard Destiny in the Twitter space use it, and it was the argument about like, oh, Palestine's not on a map,
Okay.
and I'm curious your opinion on that argument. I mean, personally, like it sounds kind of dog shit, but I was curious on your take for it.
I don't really. I think that people make that argument to say that Palestine was never a state, and that's why it was like fair game to take over or some shit. Like it's not like they got invaded. Is that generally why people invoke that argument?
I feel like it probably is, but it just personally, it just feels like it's a. If you're gonna wheel out an argument, like it just feels unproductive or.
So generally, if anyone's ever making that argument to me, I just say it's not about a country that was taken over. That's not really how I see it. It's about people who were promised by the occupying force a state in exchange for a pretty hefty service fighting the Ottomans.
Absolutely,
and they didn't get what they got in return was they got their land bought up and people were evicted, and then they got fucking clapped out of the region and not allowed to return. So it's like a human rights issue to me.
Yeah, I was actually just curious if you had like a pro for that argument, but no,
I
yeah,
mean, I think like
completely agree with you.
On World War I, the map was this. So they I don't know what the purpose of this was. If you can see my stream, they had like segmented the region, but the whole region was called Palestina roughly by the Romans, but not those exact borders either. So, it's a bit quirky because
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna repeat myself, but yeah, I just feel like the argument like doesn't go anywhere, and especially in like these, heated discussions, it
Yeah.
just feels like you're, I'm losing the word, but like it just feels like you're talking down to people. You're kind of like trying to ignore the actual conversation.
Yeah, I think I don't really understand the argument when people make it. I feel like I know what to push back on it because I know what my position is. I feel like my position has nothing to do with it. Doesn't hinge upon Palestine ever being a state or a country. It could have the word Palestine could have not been even invented until 1948, and I would still say that Palestinians deserve those like same rights in the area,
Yeah.
and they were still kicked out of their homes. Right? It doesn't need to be called anything for that to be a crime. Right? Yeah. Fuck. But who knows? People are weird.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I can do?
Well, no, you're good. You're good. I'll just be listening to stream. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right. You have a good one.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I love your content, dude.
Whoa, thanks.
Love it a lot. I do have some questions for you, because I'm new to your space, but I've been seeing a lot of you recently talking about this.
Hmm?
You're just really trying to find a pragmatic solution that gets everybody what they want, right?
Just trying to figure out what's what. Yeah.
So but you're a two-stater, right?
Not really. I'm not committed to either two or one state. I feel like two state would be easier to do now. Feels like it makes more sense, but I'm not really married to either. I'm more married to just like if I had my way, all the protesters would be telling their governments to tell Israel to stop settlements. So or like to stuff like that.
Well,
And then
mean,
to see
we
where we
both-
go from there, you know?
Right. I mean, we both know Israel's not going to stop settlements, right?
They've been
do you
forced
think
to free settlements before by US presidents for a time.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right, but I think it's very much like what some countries have done. I don't want to compare it to Nazi Germany, but like Sudetenland and all that stuff, like move people in and then say, "Oh, it's ethnically Jewish now. We can annex this." Blah blah blah. That kind of thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's how you see it? So, but I mean, the Palestinians really don't have anything to, they don't really have any bargaining chips. So I don't understand how they can hold out for so long for really just like winning the zero-sum game, if you know what I mean.
Their bargaining chips are that Israel clearly hates the reputation they have amongst Western liberal democracies. I think it makes them really upset that because they want to be the democracy of the Middle East that's liberal and forward speaking and all that, but they're managing a military occupation. They'd have a much better reputation if they weren't doing that. And they also don't like, I don't think they really like having to be responsible for Gaza. I think they would rather Egypt took Gaza because that's not really like very significant to them. And I don't think they like having 3 million Palestinians in the West Bank. They don't want to ethnically cleanse all of them because of the international blowback they would get for that. So I feel like it's in their interest to have peace, and the people seem to want peace. But
Okay,
that's
yeah.
the Palestinian bargaining chip is that we're here and we're a problem to you guys. So yeah, and you can
But,
like stop us from being that.
But everybody internationally seems to be largely sympathetic to the Palestinians if they're sort of your common civilian. Like it seems like even here in the United States over the last week, I think the polls have shifted to being more pro-Palestinian rather than pro-Israeli, right?
Only one can be.
So it's almost like there's a lifeline of public opinion from all these places, all these Western democracies that
Thanks for
sort
the
of
10 bucks,
says
Maverick.
for Palestine.
Yeah.
You know, Israel's the demonized repeatedly. I totally see that, but I don't see how Israel can really do anything. They can't grant the right of return because what are you going to do? Are you going to give these people all the keys back to their homes, proverbially? I mean, you can't do that, and you can't get them to be relocated to other Arab countries. So we're at an impasse, right? So I don't see how this shakes out without sort of severing the umbilical cord of international public opinion or international aid, or substantially changing the way the UN works, something like that. What are you thinking?
I think the international community just needs to they need to have a lot more input because whenever the international community is involved in things like Saudi with that peace deal with Israel, I think they did want some concessions with regards to Palestinians, and Israel was probably willing to do it before October 7th. The United States has been able to push Israel in the right direction, at least for brief periods. But I wonder if maybe this war and the way that everyone's seen exactly how that went might kick the rest of the world up the ass a little bit to get involved, but who knows? I don't think it can't come from Israel or Palestine, really, whatever positive change it is. It needs to come from a bunch of the surrounding countries, and it needs to come from America. And
So
Europe,
when Hamas
everyone,
perpetrated October 7th, they basically wrote a blank check to Israel to do whatever they want in Gaza. And that's
Not
what they're doing right now.
really. If Israel still has to remember that what they're doing is going to be scrutinized quite heavily by the rest of the world.
I mean, right? They can't genocide everybody. I'm not saying that they can't cash the check like that. But I am saying, like, if I was Israel, I'd be going in and doing exactly what they're doing and trying to blow up all these tunnels that they're smuggling in from, because that cuts a lifeline that Hamas has to the outside world. And I'd also, I don't know, I'd also want to, like, I want these Hamas leaders living in Gaza with Palestinians. I don't want them, hanging out in Qatar or whatever. It seems totally like a clown world.
Yeah. Who knows? I think I just hope that, because I don't think Israel's going to stop. I'm not even going to, like, there's no point in me trying to say like they should. So, assuming they do the job, they finish Hamas, then I think it just means that, like, hopefully the rest of the world just goes like, okay, like, you guys can't solve this for yourselves, Israel. Like, you're going to need someone to, you're not going to occupy Gaza. Someone else needs to do that. And I think people just need to get kicked into the right direction, but who knows? I have no idea if the UN's going to do that, or if the United States is going to do that, if an entire international coalition will come together to do that. And I don't know.
Do you think, I mean, we talk a lot about, or we see people talk a lot about, like, if we had a one-state solution, do you think that the animosity between Palestinians would dissipate and they'd be able to live in peace with the Israelis?
It depends on what the rest of the world is doing, right? If Iran keeps on funding and supporting militants illegally and smuggling weapons, then no.
So, but would you say that, like, the anti-Zionism doesn't die with like peace. You would say that, right? You would say that peace is not an antidote to the anti-Zionist sentiment.
Not just if it were just between Israelis and Palestinians, I would agree with that. But it's not like Iran is being oppressed. It's not that. That's not why they're funding Hamas. Qatar's not
Right.
being oppressed. That's not why they're sheltering and funding Hamas. Hezbollah are, I mean, their people are a bit oppressed, but they're not. That's not the reason they're doing what they're doing to Israel. So, yeah.
Well, so your first step in the right direction is just getting the settlements to stop via international pressure. But Destiny's thoughts are peace first from the Palestinians. And for me, that kind of seems the right direction. Like, shouldn't they be sort of on probation after something like October 7th?
The Palestinians, like in the West
Yeah,
Bank,
like
or
Gaza.
Gaza. I mean, if Hamas goes, someone's going to need to occupy the place. Sure,
Yeah.
it's not going to be Israel because that would be fucking insane. Yeah, but it would have to be someone like maybe the UN. I don't even know if they can do that, but
I'm afraid that the quality of the conversation online about the conflict isn't nuanced enough to actually get anything done. It seems like the apartheid and genocide memes, like we can debate them semantically, but I mean it's not really super productive to trot it out, and it seems like we just end up running around in circles on this talking point. And if you
Yeah.
go on Twitter, that's pretty much everything people are talking about on the pro-Palestinian side. It's apartheid this, genocide that. It's here's this video of this child being killed or blah blah blah. It's propaganda on both sides. And getting away from this, like I mean, every time Israel invades Gaza or whatever, they just create more propaganda, martyrs, and another generation of motivated victims to retaliate.
Mhm.
And I'm afraid that this never goes away because it looks to me like these kids are being raised to want to just stab Israelis at like 8 or 9 years old based on the videos I'm seeing.
Yeah, but again, that's like it's assuming that Hamas has that kind of input on every kid's education and all that. It's like, yeah, there's plenty of it, but there's not. That's not the entire Gaza Strip. Hamas are much more prominent in Gaza City, for example, than they are in the south. So,
Well, the South is actually, I think, a poor part of Gaza, right?
yeah, but it's not like Hamas's stronghold has always been in Gaza City. That's kind of been
Gotcha.
their strongest presence. Yeah. So yeah, it's just that's why I think at least if Hamas goes and there's an occupation from an international force, that they won't. That's not going to be quite the same resentment as you would get from an IDF occupation. So if a third party comes in and just says and they're not really like representing Israel, they're just there to rebuild Gaza and to help the people who are suffering, then I just hope that would lead to
So
somewhere
you
positive
almost
afterwards.
something like a Vatican City where it's like independent, it's occupied by
I mean,
like
it's not going to
a
have
benevolent
it's not going
power.
to have any permanent status, right? It's just going to be occupied and rebuilt, and hopefully something positive comes out of that at the end.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you seem to think that pedigree doesn't matter. So, like, what happened, or the
I think what
origin
doesn't
of the
matter. Sorry,
land
you cut
doesn't
out
matter.
there. Oh, the origin of the land.
Pedigree,
No, I
the
don't give
origin
a
of the
fuck
land.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the McMahon Hussein correspondence you alluded to, but that's the most recent crime for you, or the first crime, almost like the original sin in this conflict.
The original sin is the McMahon Hussein course, but yeah, I suppose so. And then the Balfour deck, yeah.
Because they promise something in exchange for help with the
To
Great
fight the
Arab Revolt
Ottomans.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, so they made two contradictory promises that couldn't really both be fulfilled at the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but I wonder, like, it can't be. You can't lay that blame at the the Jews fleeing persecution. You can't
No, of course not.
lay it at their feet. You have to
No.
lay it at the British feet.
I don't even
right?
know if I blame it on most of the original Zionists. They just thought they were going to a country where they could buy some empty land and build houses, or like drain swamps and start farming. I maybe blame the ones who bought residential properties and evicted the tenants. That was pretty fucking cringe. But that's not even the original Zionists. That was only some of them. They didn't all do that. There was like 65 people who bought the plot of land that ended up becoming Tel Aviv. I don't really blame them, you know.
Yeah.
Unless they did other shit after that. But that particular act was probably fine.
Yeah. But okay, so at the time of World War One, would you say that the sort of mode of being where might makes right describes conquest had sort of elapsed? We were done with that. Might makes right is done.
Mhm.
So basically, what like so conquest is a faux pas in the 20th century at this point in 1916, right?
Yeah, it's frowned
That's
upon.
what. Okay, so and in other words, you kind of think of this as conquest, like what the Jews did when they came in, and then they bought up this land. It's a form of conquest.
Parts of it were just regular old immigration and slightly not that controversial, but yeah, quite a bit of it was a bit of the old conquest, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so all right. Well, I think I see a little bit more about the way you view this conflict, and I don't think I've got much more to contribute.
Okay, well, I appreciate the conversation. All right,
Thank you.
all right, take care. Bye bye. My little triangle, my triangle of doom. Look, kind of that, not this. Oh no, I was never prepared for that. I have to do that. And this. What the fuck is this move? What's this person doing? What? What's happening? Am I up a piece? Am I winning? Cause I can just go like this. Yeah, I think I'm up. I'm up a pawn. Okay, I'm up a pawn. I can just go for the knight next. Get the check, and then get my pawn here. Then I can do this. Ooh. But they're gonna castle. They would never let me do that. Let me get away with that shit. Ugh. This pawn, this vulnerable pawn. This is vulnerable too. Uh-oh. Huh. Oh shit, I fucked it. I totally fucked it. Oh well. Big fuck up. Because now we have to do that. Now it's equal because I got more pawns. Okay. Oh no. Oh, they just let me get away with fucking this pawn. Okay. Shit. We have to get up here. Now if this rook comes down, it's just a good old trade. Hey. Okay. All right. Now I got pressure on that pawn. Oh. Take it. This. Hey. I'm not going to get it because of this fucking move here, though. Oh, shit. I didn't think. I did not think. Fuck. I could maybe go for a little... The pawn doesn't help at all. No, it doesn't, because they just take the knight. Bro. Nothing helps. Nothing helps. Yeah. Now lose the night. Fuck. I can maybe just try and get a draw. I don't know. Or hope they sacrifice their fucking queen by mistake. They put their queen in harm's way. Oh, wow. I just stall. If I can force a draw, that might be funny. Let's just keep crawling forward. Oh no, I could have like stopped their escape there. Wait. No, I don't have it. Fuck. I could have had like a really good escape there. But it's not to be, I don't think. I don't think there's a trick here. No tricks. Maybe I can just keep haranguing this king. Whoop. Whoop. Now I can't do the same thing back. Oh well. Fuck. There are loads of people in the waiting room now. Who's this person? I haven't spoken to this person before. Afro, hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm good. Sorry, I stream off because I'm retarded. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. You're very quiet.
Oh, sorry. I'll turn myself up. Is that better? Worse?
I'll turn you up. All right, that's fine.
All right. No, I just wanted to ask a couple questions. I'm trying to, figure out my position on this whole stupid shit. So.
Yeah.
So would you say necessarily that it is like one of the correct opinions that someone should be pro-Israeli, anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian, anti-Hamas, pro-Palestine?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Because I don't know, I'm trying to stop my friend from becoming a literal jihadi, so it's kind of hard to convince them otherwise.
Yeah, like what have you asked them? I feel like the simple question is what's Hamas supposed to achieve? Like what can they realistically ever achieve? Supposed to do that.
Well, I mean that's what I try. I'm trying to get it out of her slowly because otherwise she'll kill herself.
Whoa!
But I'm trying to not
intense
literally,
debate.
you know what I mean? Yeah, just a little one. But I'm trying to figure out how best to broach the fact that they are literally at the detriment of all of Palestine.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure. She's very how do you say it? She's very obsessed with the idea that Israel is like the fourth Reich.
Mm-hmm.
You know? There's
Yeah,
lots
you'll get that.
of memes of well, if the people who went through a genocide are saying that Israel is a genocidal whatever state, then surely it must be true. But I don't know how to explain to that that's not how that works. Or I
Yeah.
mean, it might be how it works, but it has to work in the opposite direction as well.
What? And what do you mean by that?
I mean the opposite direction in the sense that if Israel are a genocidal institution, that would necessarily mean that Hamas and all of the other really cool and fun guys over down terrorist town are also genocidal institutions.
Yeah. Suppose that's true.
And then also how would the people of Palestine not, all get murdered when they try to kick out Hamas?
I guess you can't really, like, revolutions happen, even though states are quite strong, I guess.
No, that's fair enough. It's just,
Um,
I don't know. Would they give up power? Like, there's
would
if they're
Hamas give up
so hell
power?
bent on, like, if they're so hell bent on the destruction of Israel and the annihilation of the Jews, would they even conceptualize not being in a position to try and enact that through being in charge of Palestine?
Well, I don't really have a position of like Palestinians should overthrow Hamas. I don't think they can do that. I think I think it might have to be Israel that does that, or if they can, you know.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. All right, no, that's it. That's all I wanted. Thank you for taking the time.
All right, nice one. What's happening here? Feel like I've got tricks. What are my tricks? Do I have tricks? Maybe I have none. Rook. No, I'm not taking the fucking rook, you idiot. Why would I stop? Let's just use the points advantage because we're down on time. I don't use my time efficiently at all in these games. They're gonna use their knight there. That might be a bit of a what? What the fuck is that move, bro? They just gave me a piece? What are they doing? They're trying to trap my queen? What's happening? Maybe we're fine. This person's being slow. Stupid, hopefully. Oh, shit. Hmm. Just go here. Lose the knight because we're up quite a lot of points now. Okay. Now let's just be careful. Very careful. Hopefully. Could go there. Then they'll bring the rook down. I can do this next. Hey, let's go. Huh. Just got to use my advantage. Shit. Huh. Oh, okay, we got this too. This person's fucking flopping. But I can't let back rank with my 2 rooks. Okay, this pawn's fucked. This pawn's so fucked. Fuck off. Huh. No, sir. Not happening. This pawn's so fucked. Fuck off. Oh shit, I can't let that happen. Can't let this happen. That's really scary. Okay. Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. Ooh. Fuck. Need time. Need to get this pawn. Okay. And now we're good. 1 second. Couldn't he do en passant? No. Not if you go 1 square. Nice job, Loner Box. Wow, thank you. Why are there so many people in my Discord? I feel like I've spoken to most of the people already. I'm gonna take one more person. Everyone else, go talk to yourselves. Go talk to each other. Fuck it. Is Ziggle? Thanks. How's it going? Uh-oh. What the why did I do that? That was so stupid. Uh-huh. Not really sure what the plan here is. Yeah. This pawn up to defend that one. Okay. Oh no. Okay, they didn't castle. That's good. But they didn't use their rook to fuck me up. Oh wait, do I have a? Oh no, I don't because of the. I don't have a fucking Greek gift. It was close. I do have this though. That's kind of annoying to them. Where is this knight going? If I push this pawn, this knight can't really has to go back up there. Okay. I guess we can back the bishop off now as well. This is good, I think. They're a bit stuck, but what kind of plan do I have here? This pawn's actually, it's annoying to me as well. Should I do this? Because they can't do anything. Their knight can go there. Their queen can take that. No, it can't. The bishop can't take this. So I should just push this pawn. I feel like this pawn is where it's at. I think this pawn's got some fucking huge shit going on with it. This knight can't do it. What's it going to do? Oh, this is so risky. What's his elo? 600? No, you asshole. I got the queen next. This is such a fucking janky position. This pawn is actually annoying me now. It's getting in my way. Okay. What's happening? What do I have to do now? This? And then I go there? Then there. No, but that's... Bro, this is weird. This is a weird game. Okay. Threaten the queen? Maybe that was a bad move. Maybe that was a bad move. This is such a delicate position. What the fuck? What? Why did they do that? Bro, that's weird. I don't understand. Shit. Okay. I think we're probably fine now. Just develop, I guess? Probably not the best square to go to. This square is fucked. Should have done this. Just do that. And get the rook up. Oh, the rook up would have been better because of... Bro, this is still a really awkward position. Oh, I can check. Fuck it. And now I can just push for trades. Really? Oh, they want to do that. Okay. Go here? I don't know what I'm doing, man. I'm freaking out. Okay. All right. Whoa. That's crazy. Okay, just do a trade. Okay. If that pawn comes forward, that's weird as well. Okay. Oh, no, don't do that. That's so stupid, Lonerbox. Come on. Hmm. I don't know what I'm doing. Just fucking go through the pawns. Okay. Force a bishop swap. Hey, okay. Shit. Nine seconds. Oh, fuck. The timing. Uh, 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 mm, 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 mm. Fucking lost on time. Oh, what a piece of shit. Oh, God. Oh, they won't give me a rematch. What a dickhead. They had a lot of rating as well. Whew. Take a rook and win king v king. I was panicking. I was like down to fucking... Not perfect, you know? You missed mate. Bro, I know I missed fucking mate. I'm... Stop. I don't even know this opening very well. Scandinavian. I know that's not a great move, I don't think, because I just back off. And I think I can push pawns. There is kind of a trick here, I think. I don't know. Should I go for the knight? It just goes back to the... No, let's do this. Whoa! Bold. This is a move. I don't know if it's any good, but it's a move. Now I can do that. There's a pin there. I think this pawn might be a problem for me. I think I might have fucked myself with this pawn. What do I do with it? So there's a bishop and a rook on it. Bishop, knight, rook, second castle. Okay. Then I can get the bishop on it. They can add one more, and then we have the rook on it. Okay, that's fine. Okay. They want to trade. Are we just doing swapsies now? At least they've got the fucked up pawn structure now. Is this a good position for me? See if I can get the rooks to trade. Oh, that's not good. Why are they doing that? What the fuck? Now, if I just go here, I can even do this. Well, this pawn looks weak. They're doing pretty well on time. Do that. Keep up some pressure. You need a free space to hide away in. I don't really know how to use my pawns very well in this position. Next game, go Bong Cloud. I'd rather die. Actually. If I do this, see if I can hustle a rook trade. I think knights are probably more effective in this situation because I can start to pile my pawns on the... This would be good because there's like a back rank threat. Like that. Then I'd be up a pawn. Should have thought that earlier. Okay. That's awkward. Yep. If I get the knight going on. Oh, they want this. I know they want that. Do I want to force this trade? I don't know. I don't know. What do they want to do there? Oh, they want to even out their pawn structure. But my... Fuck it. I think this is all right. Oh no, I didn't think about... Fuck, I need to do this now. I'm stupid. At least I need to do this. And I've got my pass pawn. Okay. I ran out of time. I'm so stupid. Do one more. Uh... what are they going for there? A weird knight move. Huh. I've already fucked this somehow. Not really, because the knight can't do much from in there. Just move my rook. I don't really know how I feel about these fucking traders. These hustlers. So I just take that knight? Have two knights for a bishop? Yeah, fuck it, yeah. Okay. Okay. This would be a good move next with a pawn. That bishop is... No, it's not stuck though, is it? Okay. Now the bishop is a little bit stuck. It's very stuck. I think I can just kind of like wheedle it out with the... No, I can't. I can't do anything. Okay. Yeah, I can pass a pawn this way. Well. This could be interesting. Okay. Oh, shit. That's not good. That's really bad. Let's do this move anyway. Kind of fucked that. Well, I think I might be bagging some... I think they fucked up there, maybe. Hey, path to victory. Okay. We're fine. Ooh. You gotta leave on a... You gotta leave on an up, you know? All right, you guys. You look fresh, nice haircut. Thank you. Really appreciate the comments. Okay. Nice little short stream tonight. I need to go to bed. It's like almost 4 o'clock. Okay. Listen, thanks for sticking around, guys. Thanks for enjoying the stream. Even sticking around for the chess.
You smarmy cuck bastard.
Smalls, thanks for the $2. Really appreciate that. Let me send you guys over to IRI. Let's do that. I need to get better at doing this in sync. I think we'll manage though. Monetization, customization, redirect. Okay. Never thought I'd sub to Learnerbox because of his chess streams. Well, nice one. Whatever reason works for you, eh? Damn, 88 Twitch viewers to send out. That's okay, we'll do a double raid. Keep up the streams, they're really fun. I hope so, because today was very dozy. I was a bit lazy today. Anyway. Twitch viewers, go to IRI. Raheem, I hope you feel better about your life. I hope you get something out of watching these streams, because god damn it, I'd be fuming if I was you. Alright. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.